What's going on? You're now tuned in to another episode of No Stingy Energy, man. We talk about health, wealth, finance, business, entrepreneurship. Man, it's gonna be a great one today. It's gonna be another good one. We got Flame pulling up again, coming from the School of Credit. You know, he flamed y'all on Tuesday, talking about all things personal credit, the good, the bad, you know, how you can fix your personal credit, how you can make a great personal credit profile, because at the end of the day, the profile really matters, not the score. So y'all haven't checked it out, make sure y'all go back in the channel, check that out. That was Tuesday's show. But today, man, I'm your host, O'Neal Parker, real estate investor, entrepreneur out of Lafayette, Louisiana. I've been investing in real estate since 2015, full-time entrepreneur since 2020. I do all things real estate, but love rentals, love passive income. I'm the owner of Leverage to Wealth, teaching people how to leverage where they are currently in their life and their finances to get wealth in real estate. That's me. But definitely excited about today, man, because a lot of businesses typically need funding. A lot of businesses fail because of lack of funding, lack of resources that the funding can bring. You know, that could be inventory, that could be education, that could be location, that could be pretty much anything. A lot of businesses fail because, you know, they business not producing enough money to get those things. So we're gonna talk about that today, man. A lot of people interested in business credit really don't know much about it. So we're gonna talk about that as well. So it's a lot of things we need to talk about that y'all need to hear as well. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So, man, we got Flame coming back, man. Flame, good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the No Stingy Energy, man.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing today?
How you doing? I'm doing good, man. I got energy up, feeling good. You know what I'm saying? How you feeling?
Man, couldn't be better, man. Couldn't be better. You know, this is one of my favorite topics when you start talking about this type of stuff, man, all day long.
Yeah, man, you must have called me this morning to see what color I was wearing, man. We matching.
You know what I mean? Great minds think alike is what they say.
Yeah, man. Look, we got the same color shirt on, man. This ain't no common color, man. So if you can, man, give us a quick little rundown of what we talked about Tuesday for the people that haven't watched it yet. What was like a quick summary? What you think about that?
Man, listen, one thing for sure, two things for certain is that personal credit, and that's what we talked about, because as we talk about today, we talk about, you know, the origin about how this stuff actually works, and understanding about the personal credit attributes. One is that we talked about, you know, before any of this stuff begins, whether you're starting to try to work on your credit to try to build it, whether you're trying to work on your credit to try to repair it, right? These things have to be essential to everything, and that is that you got to start with some money, right? You know, that's one of the first things that we talked about was making sure you have some money. When I'm saying money, not necessarily saying I'm saying it only on one page, meaning that you have to have a way of money coming in, whether you work in a job. Shout out to all my 9-to-5ers. Whether you have money that way, or maybe it's in a different scenario. Maybe you're receiving alimony. Maybe you're not working right now, but you actually are receiving an unemployment check. We're just talking about a consistent flow of money coming in, because none of this stuff works, because even when you get into the credit game, you have to pay the money back, right? And if you have bad credit, you have to pay to get some things removed, right? Maybe it's sending letters in the mail or anything of that nature. But we got to start off with the origin, which is money. And then we start talking about repairing the credit, which we talked about. And then we start talking about, which is the bigger ordeal, is when you start talking about optimizing, right? And that optimizing is when we start talking about putting certain things on the credit profile to making sure that that you have a selective credit profile that lenders love to see. And then we start talking about thinking like a lender, right? How does a lender think? And what goes into their mind when they're making their lending decisions, right? And when they're trying to issue you our credit, what are some of the things what is their checklist? How does that look for them? And how does that look for you, right? And when you start to think like how they think, it'll make anything that you're trying to do come in a lot better light. And then when you start to go into a different direction, which is, I think, exactly where we at today, is when you start talking about leveraging that credit. Because as we said before, having good credit with doing nothing with it does nothing for you, right? So we want to make sure that as we have this good credit, as we talked about that personal credit the other day, we want to make sure that we can do something with it so it can actually produce the money. And we talked about those two rules. Number one, how much money costs, right? And then the second rule was that anytime that we're borrowing money at any stretch of the imagination, anytime that we're using credit, we're only using credit to make us more money.
I love it, man. We're gonna talk about all that today. So, man, I just actually want to get started from pretty much where we left off last Tuesday. So let's just say somebody got a good credit score, and now they want to actually get into some type of business, but of course they got a good credit score. They don't have no money. What should one credit profile look like actually get into business credit? Because I know that is like the number one thing. A lot of people talk about business credit, but they never talk about what their personal profile looking like. They just care about the score. So what is trade lines that they need to have on their personal credit? What's some credit cards that they need to have, strong credit cards that they need to have on their personal credit? So once they apply for business credit, the underwriters will be like, oh, this is a great candidate. This is the type of person we're looking for. Because at the end of the day, if we're applying for these cards, which we're going to talk deeper about them, you want to look amazing to these underwriters and not look risky. You don't want to look like, we may approve them, but we're going to give, maybe $2,000 on the card because, they got a decent card, but they don't have great cards. They look like a decent bar, not a great bar. So how does someone optimize their profile to be a great borrower for business credit?
Oh man, great question. Here's some of the things that I want you guys to kind of take away from this, right? Is that one is that when you're talking about the type of cards, we got to go back and let's go back into when we start talking about the quality of cards, right? One thing in particular that I always like to talk about is the quality. Like what is it made out of, right? Where are they from? And so I always have to go back to what I consider and what we call the Power 8 banks, right? Now, what are the Power 8 banks for you guys, for you to know that? That again that's Wells Fargo, right? That is Bank of America. That is Chase. That is US Bank. That is Truist, right? That's PNC. That's Citi, spelled with an I, and then it's Capital One, right? Those are considered your Power 8 banks. Those banks control roughly about 20% of the banking that is in this country, right? So with having those particular banks that are backed up with everything, now you start to get into due diligence about what the strength lies in your credit profile. Then once you understand the quality of banks that you have, next that you want to make sure that the longevity, about how long have you had these accounts, right? Are you just now getting them, or have you had them for quite some time, right? Which makes a big difference, right? And if you had them for quite some time, right, are they your accounts, right? And your accounts only means, it comes in the word, it's called primary, right? Are they your primary accounts, right? And so when you start talking about are they your primary accounts, that's something that you had, right? When we talk about piggybacking and talking about authorized user, right? We talk about that a lot, right? I think those are things that can help you get there. But then after you attach your authorized user to an account, where that means that you can attach yourself to somebody who's already had that account with that particular lender, the next thing that you can be able to do is now that you get off on your own, get your own. That's the main thing. It's kind of like training wheels. And now once you got your own, which we consider and call that a primary account, now you want to be phased out with the limit. See, the limit is a huge thing as well, because we want to consider how much of a credit card do you actually have. Do you have one of those cards that may be at $500 or $300? Do you have a secured card that comes into that category? Well, yeah, they can be great stepping stones pertaining to you getting into the circle. But the thing about it is, those limits have to rise. When the lenders are looking at your account and they're seeing $5,000 limits, $10,000 limits, right now they see $25,000 limits. Now that is an accumulation about how much debt that somebody else thought that you was risk worthy about. So you have to go about trying to get those limits increased. So if you add $1,000 limit on a credit card from one of those Power 8 banks, our next objective would be trying to increase those limits and trying to get those limits a little higher, because now the more that we can show that we can handle, the more that they would give us, because they can see that we can handle what they've been giving us previously, and especially from some of those Power 8 banks, our competitors. So making sure that you got a well thought out profile, and you got things that are from different angles, whether you have auto loans or whether you have mortgages on your personal credit. You want to make sure that you're paying down this debt, even if you're in student loan, right? I tell people all the time, Neil, saying, hey, you may want to get out of that characteristic of being in defaulted student loans. And you say, well, why, Frank? Because if you're showing that you're unable to handle debt, why would somebody want to give you debt? See, these type of things that we talk about.
Hey, talking about student loans, I'm happy you brought that up, because most of us have student loans. We want to hurry up and pay them off. Do you think a lot of people should pay off those student loans, or just keep paying on them? Because typically that's like one of your oldest trade lines.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, definitely. So student loans are one of your older trade lines for sure. It is, right? And it can go paying off a student loan or paying on a student loan can go drastically wrong at times. Right now, one is that you're not showing that you're accumulating the debt. So if you do have a student loan, right, you want to be able to show that you're paying off that student loan. But what happens if you do pay it off, right, and it's completely gone off your credit profile? Well, there's a thing that accumulates your credit score, and that is called your relationship. That is roughly about 15% of your score, as we talked about last week. So if it's roughly about 15% of your score, that's roughly about 82.5 points of your score. So if that is the case of it, right, now what we get into in a situation now where a lot of those points that comes from there, right, that relationship, the longer that you had that particular account, right, the stronger that your credit profile may be. But if you remove that student loan, meaning that if you paid it off, understanding that how law works, there is a law that states how long something negative can be on your credit profile, and that is 7 years. So something negative that can only stay on your credit report for 7 years, and student loan itself doesn't has any expiration when it comes to that. Now you start to think about other things, right? And that is, how long can something positive be on your credit profile? Now, how long something positive can be on your credit profile, right? There is no law, no rule, no amendment, no anything that considers how long something positive can stay on your credit profile. So even though that you paid off your student loan, there is no obligation for the student loan to continue to leave and paid off a student loan on your credit profile. So therefore, now what we're looking at now is we entered into a different dynamic. And that different dynamic means that even though that you did something positive by paying it off, you may have did something negative by actually getting it. If they so happen to take that student loan off your credit profile, you now may have removed, I don't know, say if you're 35 years old, you may have removed 13, 14 years of credit history off your credit profile. But what happens if you're 50? Now you're talking about you removed almost 25 to 30 years of history off your credit profile, which can make a drastic difference pertaining to the lenders and to the things that you've been able to do.
That's important. That's important. So you recommend just keep paying over time?
No, what I do recommend is what I am saying is and that's a good point that you made. So I
Because
said,
that's a slippery slope right there. Some people be like, man, I got the 10K, I can just pay it off real quick, and some people like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and pay these minimums for the rest of my life. So I don't know what you think about that.
no, because you always are taking money out of the household the longer that you keep it, right? Because there is some part of this whole process which is called interest, right? As Mr. Don Dean's always talking about, right? So now we understand that. So yes, am I saying pay it off? Yeah, for sure. I want you to pay off. I want you to get in the habit of starting something and completing it. Let me say that again. I want you to get in the habit of starting something and completing it. So if paying off your student loans is a part of the process of starting something and completing it, yes, I would like for you to do that. But I also want you to be aware of the potential things that can occur. Meaning that, so if you have the student loans that's on there, right? Maybe you actually know that if you remove a student loan, if the lender removed the student loan off your credit profile, knowing that your credit score could drop upwards to 100 points, if not more. So if that is the potential case of it, what we want to understand now is, now watch this, O'Neal, the things in which we're trying to acquire, maybe a mortgage. Maybe you going down the line of saying, hey, I'm going to get a mortgage. Maybe not removing that student loan prior to you getting that mortgage, maybe the answer. Maybe saying, hey, maybe I just need to keep this on here 3-4 months until I go through the mortgage process and I be able to do that, right? And then you start to understand things which you're trying to acquire. Maybe that's how long that you need to leave it on there. Not leave it on there forever. No, I'm not saying that in no way, right? But if we know going into it, there's a potential. Listen to the word, people that is out there. If you're out here listening, I want you to listen. If there's a potential, we know that there's a potential that your credit score could drop 100 points. Therefore, we want to make sure that we in consideration of saying, hey, maybe we don't want to move into that potential light, not just yet, not until we acquire the things in which we're trying to acquire. Maybe it's a mortgage that you're trying to acquire. Maybe you're getting ready to get into a situation where you're trying to get business loans, which we'll talk about later, or any of those type of things like that. But we want to make sure that we're trying to acquire some of the things first before we even get rid of that student loan or paying it off to that degree.
Like it. So let's talk about it, man. We're talking about business credit. Oftentimes, people, a lot of businesses fail because the lack of funding. Let me see. You got this article up real quick. Let me see. Ruby, let me see where you at. Take that off. We ain't ready for it yet. We ain't ready for it, Ruby. Oh my. Yeah. So let's talk about it. A lot of people, a lot of businesses can't typically make it because they don't have the money in their pocket to invest in their business. Because, we got to keep it real. It costs money to start a business for the most part. What you want to do, it takes some type of money. And a lot of us don't have that money to put in these businesses. So do you see, businesses prosper more when they got business credit, or you see businesses maybe start to do good and they fail because a lot of people start using the business credit, not even funding the business, they start funding their life. So do you see that also? Because we got to keep it real on this show, man. We got to keep it real.
Okay, well, yeah, I like this because we know, right? We know, right? And that is
we here to help the people. But we got to keep it real. We got to keep it real too.
Nah, we know, and that is potentially what we're saying is one thing for certain, two things for sure, that having access. See, it's not about the amount of money you have. Listen, right now, what I need for you guys to do right now is I need for you guys to write this down. Like, so if you're out there, I need somebody else to put this in the chat. I want you to write this down. I'm giving you notes right now because this right here is solely change the direction in which you're trying to operate with these words that are coming out of my mouth. And that is, it is not about how much money you have. It's all about how much money you have access to. I'm going to say that again. It's not about how much money you have. If it's all about how much money you have access to. So what we want to do is we want to access the money, right? So the more accessibility that we have to money, the more moves that you can be able to make, right? The more moves that you being able to make when you have access to the when you got access to the money, now you can move in different directions. Whether you want to move in real estate, or whether you want to move over here with building your salon out, whether you want to do these things because you got accessible to the money, right? And so those are the things that you want to be able to do, but you also want to use the money in the correct correlative to the things in which you're trying to do. The problem is people are going into this, O'Neal, they're going into this without a plan about what they're going to do with the money. So when you go into anything without a plan
or discipline, they just be out here wilding, man.
You feel me? So now they put a situation where they're planning to fail. And so what we're trying to do is saying, hey, let's go ahead, let's put together this plan so we can actually go to the next level with the things that we're doing.
So, that's how I wanted to hit on it before we even really get deep into it. But you got to have a plan with this money. You got to have discipline about money. If you have no discipline with money, this is not for you. Again, if you have no discipline with money, this is not for you.
It's not.
If you can't stretch $100, you definitely can't stretch $100,000. And we don't want you to get, listen to what we say, and you apply for this, you get this money, and you put yourself and your family in a worse position. We want you to get this money, have a plan, be disciplined, and actually start, scale, or grow a business. This is specifically what we talking about. We ain't giving you advice to go get these cars, to go get the car you wanted, go get a few designer bags that you always wanted. We're not trying to fund your lifestyle. We're trying to fund your pocket. Wanted to put that out there. Good morning, Don. We got Don. What's up, Mr. Don?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Listen, you guys are hitting the nail on the head. There's the discipline about using the business credit for what it was designed for is to grow your business. The next thing you have to also worry about is making sure that you pay the money back. Make sure your payments are on time. And if you could pay it back ahead of time, it'll save you interest. So those are some of the things that you need to be thinking about, even with, getting the business credit. There's a way that you can pay that money back, listen, let me put it this way. How would you like to know when is the best time to give the bank their money back and make it impossible for the bank to charge you interest? That's what I'm talking about. That's what we could do and to help you to handle that business credit. And that way you put yourself in position to get even more. Okay? That's my 2 cents. You're muted, O'Neal.
I see, my bad. So let's get into it. So first things first, we want that credit profile. Well, if you can, Flame, break down exactly what business credit is so everybody can know and understand what we're talking about, so we're not leaving nobody to start.
Okay, definitely, man. Listen, business credit is extending credit from one business to the next, right? As we talked about before, I want you to understand that all of these places are businesses. Wells Fargo is a business. Chase is a business, right? Your local farmers market is a business. Rooms to Go is a business. Anytime that you extend credit from one business to the next, that is called business credit, right? And so those are the things that you understand. And what I want to get into O'Neal, is there are 4 types of business credit, right? I want you to understand that there's 4 types of business credit. And then that's what they're really going to understand is the 4 types of business credit.
Oh, don't leave it there. Don't leave it there.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
What are the 4 types?
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see. What are the 4 types, man?
Hey, listen.
We don't have to get into them right now, but you can just sprinkle it on us right now. Just sprinkle it just a little bit.
Okay, there are 4 types of business credit. Let's go about it, right? So now y'all know I get warmed up and my engine gets going down, right? So there's 4 types of business credit. The first type is what we call vendor credit. Ladies and gentlemen, I need somebody. Listen, I want to work this chat. I want to work this comment section down here for the people that's going to watch these replays. If you're watching the replay right now, I want you guys to understand this. I'm giving it to you uncut, raw. Some of these things that are coming out of my mouth, you can't find a lot of this stuff on the internet, right? Because this is the stuff that it withhold from you. So let me give it to you. There are 4 types of business credit. There are only 4 types of business credit. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 4 types of business credit. The first type is called vendor credit. VENDOR. That's called vendor credit. Vendor credit. This is where you guys can get credit from one business, meaning that a product. You're able to get a product or a service from one business to the next. Understand what I just said? That's a product. That product could be, if you do floors, you may go to a company like Floor & Decor, which allow you to get the product of floors from them now, and then you can pay them back later. They're giving you a product, right? Then you got another company, right? Then you got other companies like Home Depot or Lowe's. They have products which they can give you, right? You can understand about that particular part, right? That is called vendor credit. Then you got the second type of credit, right? O'Neal, me and you had talked about this earlier, which is called Fintech lending, right? That is called Fintech. Right? And these are financial technology companies. These are what they're able to give you. You probably heard of some of them like Stripe and PayPal and Square, right? You probably, and Lindy, I mean, you got so many of these different ones right now. Actually, as of to date, right? The fintech is the new wave of lending and is actually taking over more than banks, right? Now, what's the difference between these first two? I want to show you. Is the first one is that you don't have to have good personal credit. You do not, right? You don't have to have good personal credit when you get in vendor credit, right? When it comes to fintech lending, you may not have to have good personal credit when it comes to that, right? But what happens is you got higher interest rates and things of that nature when it comes to it. And then on top of that, the terms may be faster. It may be a whole lot of things. I get into that later. Then you got your third type, which is called traditional banking. Now, your traditional banking is things like Chase, the Wells Fargo, the Bank of America, the TD banks, the Regions banks. That is called your traditional banking. This, you have to have good personal credit, but it allows you to get your cash in hand. I'm talking about where the increments of the $20 bill would touch the skin of your hand. Now, how you like that for starters, right? That is called traditional banking, traditional. And then the one that everybody talks about, but nobody actually understands it, this is called corporate banking, right? Corporate banking works in a whole different sector. They're still using what you call your traditional banking, except for, right, you don't have to put up your good personal credit for this, right? But in order to do this, you got to make a lot of money, right? You got to make about $3 to $5 million a year, and you had to do it for 3 consecutive years. So those are the 4 types of business credit. So we'll talk about each one of those in detail today and a whole lot more. O'Neal, muted.
I love that.
Muted.
My bad. I love that. Y'all getting a real situation. So I'm happy you brought it up, because now we can break each one down so y'all could definitely understand each one and figure out where you are in your business right now to see which one you can go ahead and get. So what does that personal credit profile need to look like? So get into this. I know we talked about it earlier. So I'm guessing you need to have, this from what I know, you need to have at least one credit card, a strong credit card, 5,000 or more. I'm talking about Visa, MasterCard, Amex. On your personal, we're talking about personal credit right now. You need to have less than 3 hard inquiries. Let's see. You need to have an LLC, EIN, or whatever your business is. You need to have a business, EIN, articles of incorporation. Is that like the main thing, Flame?
Yeah. So
business address, a real address, not a PO box, not a home address. But a business bank account.
Yeah.
I think that's probably like the main things, right?
Oh no, buddy. No,
well, let's
sorry.
Get down into it.
No. Hello. Woo!
Let's get into it. What else we got?
Okay,
we're trying to make sure these people straight, man. We're trying to make sure these people straight.
Now let's get into it. Okay, so for one is
this is the first step. This is the first step we talk about, because people like to skip. People be, go to this bank, but they stuff ain't together, man. We got to make sure you stuff together up front. So what's the beginning?
All right, so the very beginning, like I talk about, is having your 4 best friends. Your 4 best friends is essential to every single part of this business process. So if you want to get into business credit, you guys want to get into business, first off, let me rearrange the thought process in this room, right? Let me rearrange. business credit is the easiest thing to get. So if you're looking to get in business credit is by far, business credit is easier from you getting up now to walk to the bathroom. How far that is from you, however easy that is for you, that's how easy business credit is. But the hard part is the part that everybody wants to forget about, right? And that is called the actual business. Let's go over that again. Somebody write business right now. If you're watching the replay, I need you to put business in there. If you're live right now, I want you to put business in right now. Business. That's what I want you to put in. I want you to put in business, right? I want you to put in the word called business. Put the word called business in, right? And the reason that I want you to put the word called business in is because right now, business. The reason why you want to put business in is because none of this business credit stuff works. Nothing works unless you actually have a business. I'm going to say that again. See, I can't stop talking like this because that business is the actual part of this whole thing. Now, what makes a business? First thing, you got to have your 4 best friends, right? I'm just going to go over and we can come back and we can elaborate on, right? The first thing is you got to have your 4 best friends. So who are your 4 best friends? Is it Tanya, Michael, Jerome, and Keisha? Answer, no, it's not. Your 4 best friends are your attorney, your mentor, your CPA, and your coach. Attorney, a mentor, and a CPA, and a coach. Attorney, a mentor, a CPA, and a coach. Somebody write in the chat. Attorney, a mentor, a CPA, and a coach. Attorney, a mentor, a CPA, and a coach. I want you to, all day long, I just want you to think about it. He said attorney, a mentor, a CPA, and a coach. And notice I didn't say an accountant. I did say a CPA. I need somebody that can sign off on financials. So that's the first thing. The next thing that you're going to be able to do is making sure, listen, I'm going to show you this now. The next thing that you're going to do is you can do a name search. That's right. Go to name search. You can go to e-secretaryofstate.com. e-secretaryofstate.com, right? And do a name search for the particular state that you want. Do a name search, right? Once you do a name search, the next things that you want to do is making sure that you have a business address. That's right, a business. I never said a home address. I didn't say a UPS store address, and I didn't say any other address, a PO box address. I didn't say those. I did say you must have a what address? A business address that's zoned with business that does business, right? So you want to have a business address, right? Even if you went and got a virtual address, even any of these things, right? But you want to have, you got places like Regis, Optimal, you got all of these places that do business addresses. You want to make sure that you got a business address. That's for starters. Then you want to make sure you got what? A business phone number. That's right. You want to make sure that you got a business phone number that is on listyourself.net. And we'll talk about all of that in just a second as well. You want to have a business phone number. You know what else you want to have? You know what? A business website. A business website. You want to make sure that you have a business website, right? You want to make sure that you have a business website. That's the one thing that you want to make sure that you got. You want to make sure that you got a business website. You also want to make sure that you have a business email, a business email, a business email. I'm going to say that again. I didn't say a Yahoo account, right?
Would that look like a business email? Because I don't think some people know. Some people be like, they put their business name at gmail.com. That's my business email.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not. It's far from that. It's far from that.
What's the real business email so people can understand?
So a business email is attached to your business website. So for example, if your website says ice10k.com, your email would be don@ice10k.com, or it could be dond@ice10k.com, or it could be daniels@ice10k.com. Some correlation in the form with your name on it, right? That's the best at your website name. That is considered what we consider and what we call a professional email. You want to make sure that you have a professional email, right? That's by far, that's what you want to have, is a professional email. Now, on top of having that professional email, right, then you also want to go into other things, right? You want to make sure that now that when you go to your Secretary of State and you start your business pertaining to getting your business entity, whether you're going to be an LLC, a corporation, a nonprofit, whatever type of business structure that you want to be, right? That's what you have to do. Now you go back over to the Secretary of State, and after consulting with your 4 best friends, then after you consult with your 4 best friends, then at that point in time, what do? Now you know the correct business structure, because just because one of your friends has an LLC may not be sufficient for you to have an LLC. Maybe you may need a corporation. That's why it's good to have your 4 best friends. Then after you do that, then you want to go to the IRS.gov and making sure that you get your EIN number, right? You want to make sure that you get your EIN number. Then after you do that, then you want to go to FinCEN and want to make sure that you're registering your business with the federal government, right? Then after you do this, then we go to dnb.com, which is Dun & Bradstreet, and now we're going to register our business in a business database. That's right. Putting together a business profile. We want to make sure that we put our business in a business profile, right? Along with going to Equifax and Experian, right? Then you want to go back to DNB and you want to get what they call a paydex score. Listen, I'm giving it to you, baby. You can't say I ain't rolling now, baby. You want to get your paydex score. You want to
going crazy, man. You going crazy.
Yeah, you want to get your DUNS number. Then after you accumulated that, then you can go to sam.gov, right? sam.gov, right? And you're going to register your business to get your UEI number. And then after you do that, then you're going to go get your business bank account. Now, then and only then are you going to be ready for business.
Now, Flame, I got a question, man. Now, how many times somebody comes to you and say, look, I'm interested in business credit, and they got maybe 2 or 3 of these things. So most people don't be set up properly. Y'all want to rush the process instead of build a solid foundation, man. If you get it right in the beginning, you be straight. So do you typically see often that people don't have it, half of this stuff?
Oh, man. You said, hey, Mr. Don, he said half the time, man, probably about, for real, to come clean to you,
99.
Yeah, a strong 98, 95.
So with all this that we're talking about, what you think is the typical cost for all of this? What you thinking? Maybe I think website, depending on where you build it at, maybe $200.
Let's go over it. I think that's a good thing. Let's go over this. Okay, so
you may be come out of pocket maybe a strong $1,000.
Yeah,
not even that really.
No, I probably wouldn't. By the time you get your LLC, your corporation paperwork, and all that kind of stuff, that right there itself would run. That right there would run you probably in the neighborhood of $200. We think, right, somewhere in the neighborhood. Yeah. By the time you go get your emails and your websites and things of that nature, right? The emails and your websites of that nature, your email, you could probably get one for $10 or something like that.
GoDaddy.
The website package. Your website, you can go to GoDaddy and get one, just a professional page. That's probably what, $50, something like that. If that. No. GoDaddy is something like $3 or something. Yeah. It could be something real cheap like that. Then you can go from there, and now you go get your EIN, and that's free.
It's free. People be paying $200 for EIN. Hey, bro, IRS.gov. Get there for free, man. Stop paying people to do that.
You get that
5 minutes.
For 5 minutes for the free ski. Then you can go over to then you go get your address, right? That may be free, right? You say, well, how can I get a business address for free? Maybe you can talk to people that you actually know, right? Maybe you could come say, hey, Flame, man, listen, I'm over here with you. I want to get a business address with you. Maybe you can say, Mr. Don, listen, I see you have an office. Talk with people that you actually know and say, hey, is it all right if I receive mail here by using the address that you have and attaching a letter or a number to it, such as if you had a street that's called 123 Main Street, right? Maybe you're at 123 Main Street, suite number B. You know what I mean? Maybe you're at 123 Main Street, suite number 100. You see what I'm saying? Because understanding that when you go to different addresses, they have multiple addresses at the same address, right? You can do that. Or you can consult with places like Regis, Optima. You can get them office addresses there. They little as $50 sometimes. You can go from that, and then now you start talking about other things like getting your phone number. You can register with 411 for little or nothing, right? And you can also, with listyourself.net. You can also do other things like go to DNB and get
Free.
for the free ski. You know what I mean? You can go and go get your UEI number from sam.gov for how much that costs? Free ski, right? For the free ski, right? And then you can get all of these things. All these things, it seems like it costs a lot of money, but it actually does not. You know what I mean? It just seems like that from that angle.
So you less than $1,000, you should be good to go.
No, for sure, for sure.
So the most people usually spend their money on is LLCs, man. I think people be spending $400 to set up an LLC with legal, Zoom, and all that. Man, I go straight to my straight to my Secretary of State, fill out all the information. I'm good. $105, $110. Go get my EIN for free. Within 30, 45 minutes, I got my articles of incorporation, my business set up, and my EIN. That's all it takes, a little bit of time. Y'all be paying people $300, $400 to set up shit that's very low cost. So we got all that done. What's the next step?
Okay, so once you got all that stuff done, now you got to.
Now we a business.
Yeah, for your business. Now you got to start operating and making some money. You know what I mean? Like this is, I think this is the part where people start to understand. Everybody wants to look like money, but now you got to operate a business that brings in money, right? And so that's why it's essential to have a coach on your team, right? So you can understand where the loopholes are, the things what is your game plan? What type of business do you actually have, right? Because what we're not doing, watch this, what we're not doing is acquiring any of this credit stuff without having us a means to pay the money back. Ain't that right, Mr. Don? We're not acquiring no credit, nothing. I don't want you to get, I'm going to make sure I say this, O'Neal, and I'm going to make sure I say it on your podcast clear. Do not word, do not get any credit without any means to being able to pay it back. Do not.
We said earlier, you got to have a plan, man. You got to be financially literate to get this. Mr. Don, what you think about that?
Listen, man, because some people.
I know you're the man with the plan when it comes to paying some stuff back. So this is your wheelhouse. What's your thoughts about this?
You know, people call me. You know, a lot of people call because they're in financial trouble. All right, if you're in financial
trouble,
exactly. If you're in financial trouble, it's that I can't pay my bills, and they call the pill method. There's nothing I can do for you because you don't have enough money to pay your bills, and not to mention you don't have enough money to pay me. So let's wake that up. So when you get that business going and having that mentor, having that coach that's going to put you in the right position so that you can have that income and that you can establish, well, now I can get the credit to pay it back. Because what Flame said is true. It is easy to get it's easier to get the business credit than it is to get the personal. Easier. Don't let it fool you. You still have to pay it back. So having that income ready to go and says, okay, I'm going to use this money to level up my business. I'm going to use this money to create more business. That's what that business credit is for. That's the position you want to be in. So make sure you have income coming in. And you also, if you can, have a backup. Now, here's what I mean by backup. Some of you have a business, but you still have a W-2 job. And sometimes when, not every business is able to, go to the moon right away. So what do you do when your business struggles? You're doing everything you know to do, but sometimes you're going to need that income from that job to tide you over until you get past this rough patch, right? So most businesses fail because when they meet the rough patch, they give up. They don't fight through, right? So fight through. Make sure you have something to back you up, and then when your business starts taking off after the 4th or 5th or 6th year, then you can make sure that you don't need that backup job to make sure you can pay back that business credit. So there you are.
Love it. I love it. So what's your thoughts about how much money y'all think a business should start bringing in before they should start considering business credit? Thinking like
Oh yeah.
5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 3,000 a month. What's your thoughts?
No. So here this goes. And I want you guys to hear me wholeheartedly and clearly. It's not a number that you're bringing in, right? In order for you to start sending business credit. Remember, I want us to go back over, O'Neal, and let's stay here because this is a very good topic that you had this morning. And thank you guys for allowing me to come on your platform and being able to talk about it. Thanks first. But here it goes. We got to understand what the plan is for the business because every business is totally different. What it means is, for example, if I'm a person that if I do flooring, right, I'm a brand new business and I'm doing flooring. One of the things is that when it comes to flooring, I can't work unless I got a floor to work on, for one. Once I've acquired that job to work on, the next thing is I got to be able to sustain that job where maybe I can go to a place like a Floor and Decor, which gives me a net 30 accounts, which gives me 30 days to get product from them. And then before I'm able to pay it back. So at this moment, I can get the business credit initially. I can get it from the beginning because the floors that I'm getting from there, I'm installing them now. Now, as I'm doing this, as Mr. Don Daniels talked about earlier, he talked about having that job, right? Maybe you had some money that you saved up before you got into this business. Maybe you're the person that's going to actually put the floors in yourself. Maybe you have a nephew that you're going to do it with. Maybe your wife decides, hey, I'm going to help me and you're going to start this business together, whatever it may be, right? That's called, at that point, now you're working through it. You're able to get your product right now from Floor and Decor, and now you're able to work on that product, right? And so when you come from that particular element, now that's how you start to grow. Because now you got paid from that job, and then you take half that money and you pay back the product what you got, and now that builds up the credibility. But what are other things that you're going to do? Maybe you may say, hey, I need to get some more glue. I need to get some nails. I need to get some, I maybe need to get some type of lumber when I do floors, right? Maybe it's some things of that nature, right? If that's the case, you may say, hey, where can I get these things at now in which I can pay for them later? And one of the things that may come to your mind is you may say, hey, maybe Home Depot has it, or maybe Lowe's had it. If that is the case, maybe it might be potentially for you to go get a Lowe's or Home Depot account. Maybe it's essential for you to get an account. Maybe it's essential for you to get a credit card from them, right? Maybe it's essential to saying, hey, in order to me to get to and from the work sites, I may have to have fuel, right? If that is the case, that what you're going to need, right? Because now you're going to a place to make money. Maybe now it's the saying, I need to get a credit card, right? I need to get a credit card in which I could benefit off of. Maybe it now may be a case for you to go get a Chase Ink card. Maybe it might be a chance for you to say, hey, by me using this card at this particular store, I can get 4 times the points because I listen to Flame Talk. Maybe I might need to get American Express Gold card, which may be an annual fee that comes with it. And they can show me how to offset that annual fee, right? So it depends on the individual business about what they're able to do. So when I'm saying don't get credit until you're making money, I'm saying don't get credit until you have a means of getting money, means that you have a way of bringing money in. Once we figured out how to bring that money in, right, and you got that plan solidified, even before you even got your first job, and that is clear. That's a clear indicator. Now, at that point, I'm saying let's go get credit, right? Let's go find places that issues you out the products or services that you can use and you can get now that you can pay back later. Because a lot of this stuff, even if you did t-shirts, maybe you're saying to yourself, hey, Flame, I'm going to start a t-shirt business. And I'm saying, okay, well, what are you going to use to press up your t-shirts? And you may tell me saying, hey, I'm going to get some press machines first, right? And then after I get my press machines, I need to get some t-shirts, and then I need to get some labels. What companies have these things that which I'm going to use to help build my business up? These are the places that I'm going to get credit from, because now I can use those products to make me money, right? As I start to make money with these products in which I got to pay back, now it may be essentially, O'Neal, for me to get bigger products, right? I may be able to get one t-shirt press machine when I first start off. But if the volume of business is increasing and steadily increasing, maybe I need to get a 6 press machine. Maybe since I've been working out of my apartment or working out of your garage, maybe at that point you say, hey, I've got too much stuff in here. I may have to go to a warehouse. I may have to go to an office building to continue this business because it's overtaking my living quarters. If that is the case, now you start to use your business credit and get business real estate, such as either you're trying to go acquire a building, purchase it out. Maybe you're going to go get a lease on a building, right? You don't want to take on debt until you actually know that you're able to pay off the debt. That is what I wanted to put out here. I want to make sure that is clear. So it's not a certain time, if it makes sense for you on that.
So
I like that. Go ahead,
So
Don.
Flame, you're talking about getting the job and then going to get the credit. Can we talk about getting the job and what does that look like? So is it getting the job? Okay, I'm going to put in your flooring and we're going to shake hands on the job. And then now, based on that handshake, I'm going to go get my materials on credit.
No, so that's what we come back with the 4 best friends. Because now what we got to do now, that's why it's essential to
documentation.
Yeah, that's why it's essential to have these 4 best friends, is because now when you're doing business, now you understand and saying, hey, before I can do business with someone, right, let me have a contract in place to make sure that I'm not held liable for some of this stuff that's getting ready to go down. If they're telling me that they're going to pay me in 30 days, right, I need to know that they're going to pay me in 30 days. So if they're going to pay me in 30 days, what about one of my accounts? Remember, I had a net 30 account when it became to my flooring. So if we're using this same example, maybe I need to talk to the flooring company and see if I can get a net 45 or a net 60, because I don't get paid until net 30, right? I want to make sure I got a clear indicator about when I'm going to get paid, what are the functionalities of what happened here, how I'm going to be paying my workers that are going to get there, because you can't pay your workers off of business credit. They looking for some moolah, some cash, some money, right? So these are things that when you get into it and you're saying, hey, I got 3-4 employees. Maybe I need 5 or 6 employees. How are you going to be able to pay them? Now, O'Neal, this may be a situation where you say, hey, let me go get me a line of credit from a bank so I can have something to draw. It means remember, let's go back to what we talked about before, which means I have cash available. I have cash available right now that I can access. I got access cash that I can use. So if it was a point in time that I have to pay other people to do some work for me, right, now I can pay them. Maybe in certain jobs where you have to subcontract that work out and you may not can do it. But that subcontractor can't get paid in 30 days. Maybe you have to pay them in 15, but you get paid in 30. Can you sustain being able to pay them that long? Like, what are your measurements being able to do this? And these are the things that we're talking about as we get into it, right? Is understanding that one is, as Mr. Dom was talking about, having these contracts in place. What does this contract say, right? Do you read the contract? Do you understand this, right? Do you understand what a net 30 is? A net 30 meaning that you have 30 days to pay back something, right? Did somebody issue you that saying that they got 30 days to being able to pay you? So by you understanding these terms and conditions, right, you understand a lot of this other stuff that goes into it, right? Some of the stuff that we didn't talk about, which is heavily known, right? Which is something such as having insurance. Are you bonded pertaining to the type of service industry that you may be in, right? What about locally, O'Neal? Do you have your business license locally? What about, county-wise? Do you have certain permits that you got to being able to get to being able to operate under this circuit? Man, we could talk about this over and over again, but making sure that the substantial part of this, what I want you to leave with, is making sure that you have have a air grip type actual business because the business credit is easier to get. Now, how are you going to acquire customers, right? If your customers are not being acquired properly, right? Now you only work for one company. I got a company and I only work for Don Daniels, right? So Mr. Don, I'm working for Mr. Don. But what happens if Mr. Don pulls that contract out of me, right? Then I'm back with 5 employees and 3 trucks with all of this credit, and I have nowhere else to go. So these are the things that we got to know, so we don't dig ourselves in a hole, so we can move into an upward fashion when it comes into this.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So man, that's important. We talking about the real meat and potatoes of business credit, man. You got to have your business airtight. You got to have a plan. You got to actually have income coming in business. Because I know most times on social media, people out here saying, man, go get this business credit. Go get this business credit. You're not talking about the foundation. You're not talking about you actually going to start an actual business that's going to produce you cash. They're just saying, get the business credit, then go start a business. Here we saying, start you a business, make some income, then get the business credit. I don't know if you understand it. We talking about 2 totally separate things, because I know on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, they just say, hey, get your credit right, go get business credit, and that's it. So I just wanted to speak to the foundation of setting everything up right so you actually can have a successful, sustainable business. Because if you have no idea, you just hearing things, you go do it, you're going to have yourself in a messed up situation. And I'm sure, Flame, you see people in messed up situations all the time. They get this credit and they go run it up.
They go run it up.
And you ask them how their business doing, their business ain't doing nothing.
Ain't doing nothing. See, people might be infatuated with looking like a business as opposed to operating a business. That's why I say before any of this stuff, that business plan is got to be is the one thing that can we talk about that business plan right quick?
Yeah, we need to talk about it. Let's do it. Because you can ask somebody, you know, I see you got this $100,000 in business credit. How's your actual business doing? We ain't got to talk about that. Because they're not really doing business. Like, don't get the business credit if you're not really doing business. Because you're going to set yourself up for a disaster. All right? Let's get into it. Somebody said guilty. Y'all got some... If y'all got questions, y'all can drop the question below or join the live chat. So let's get to the first one, man. We talked about so let me ask you this, Flame. What is the difference? What is the major difference between business credit, leveraging your personal credit, and then business credit strictly using EIN? Because we get, a lot of people get confused with those two. What's the difference between those two?
You said between leveraging your personal?
Yeah, so personal guarantee, business credit, and then credit strictly using EIN.
Okay.
What is the difference between those two?
That's a good point. And you know what the sole difference is? It's one word. I need everybody to write this in there. Listen, I don't care where you at in this world right now. I need everybody to write this down right now in the chat right now. I need you to write this in the comment section right now. I need you to write the word called money. Chat. I need you to write this. Go to the chat right now. Write the word called money. Let me see money signs. Let me see emojis. Let me see money. Let me see money. If you guys want some money and you guys want to see that money talk, put that money down up in there. Put that money that's in there. I got to see that money sign. I got to see the word money. I want to see who's in here want to get that business credit and want to get that money. Money, 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 money. Let me tell you about that money, because O'Neal, that is the sole difference between the two. It's actual, listen, let me make sure I say this correctly. It's called money in the hand. It's the cash in the hand. I'm talking about this. I'm not talking about the word money. I'm talking about the increment of the $20 bills hitting the skin of your hand. Have you ever thought about walking into a bank and getting $150,000 minimum? Listen what I said, $150,000 minimum from a bank. Listen when I'm saying this again. I want y'all to hear this word come up. It's $150,000 minimum at a bank. The sole difference between the two is one is using a personal guarantee, is one is getting vendor credit. Now you can get the products which can accumulate so you can do some work so you can get the $150,000. We understand that. But what happens when you need the $150,000 to pay employees, to get other products, to get all of these things, right? How can you able to get it? What about being able to pay pay for your lights? What about being able to do your real estate? That's the sole difference between the two. Because when you align your personal guarantee, I know you hear about it all the time. I don't want a personal guarantee anything. That's internet talk, ladies and gentlemen. That is
that's the internet talking.
That ain't real life.
Lord.
Out here operating business in real life, you're gonna have to make sure that your personal credit is up to tight. Because when it comes to it, one of the things is that these lenders want to see is they want to see how well you can handle money. They don't want to see how well that you can pay off a fax machine, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know where you're getting this from. They care two less. They care two less nickels about how you're able to get 2 boxes of ream paper and you pay them back. They're not giving you no money because you paid off because you paid off a pressure washer. I want you to understand that they're not giving you not a zilch for doing that, right? But what they will give you is they will give you your cash in hand. They will give you $150,000 or more when you can able to show that when you're able to show that from that complete angle, right? When you're able to show it from that angle, now they're able to give it to you from that component. And those are the things that what I'm talking about is being able to show. You got to be able to show. Oh, listen, y'all just know I just got formed up. Hold up, O'Neal. I'm just getting cranked up.
Get it, man. Let's get it.
I'm telling you, man. But that's the sole difference between the two.
You're in your element right now. You're in your element. So basically, with the one with strictly EIN, you got to have some cash coming in.
Serious cash. Serious.
A lot of cash. They're looking at them bank statements.
Listen, you're talking millions of dollars. Before you can get rid of that personal guarantee, you got to be making millions.
Yes, indeed.
You know, so it's serious money.
But Don, let's talk about it.
Don't talk about that.
Not just making millions. Not just making millions. You got to be making millions over a course of years. So it's not like you just made $3 to $5 million this year and now you don't have to do it. Don't work like that. They don't play that game. They want to see that. They want to see your last 3
consistency.
years.
You got to have consistency. Yeah. And then once the bank asks for bank statements and tax returns for the last 2 years and 12 months, we just stop communicating with the people because we ain't got it.
But and O'Neal, and this is the greatest thing of ever, right? Watch this. People make this stuff like it's just so hard. Let's just go over this right quick because I'm
Let's go over it.
Here, listen. I want y'all to follow these rules right now, right? And that is this. All you have to do is do what you said that you can do. That's it. Now, listen, I didn't make this no complicated than what it should be. All you got to do is do what you said you can do. Number one, what do we talk about? You have to have a means of making money yourself. So do you have a job or is your money making business? If you got a record of doing that, what you mean? So how are you receiving your money? If your money is going inside of your bank account and you're making money, and at the end of the year, if you file in taxes, guess what the bank is going to ask you for, O'Neal? They're going to say, can we see your last 3 months of bank statements and your tax returns on your personal level? If you actually did it in real life, all you got to do is hit the button and say send. Hold on, watch this. Hold on, O'Neal, watch this. I hit the button. I go to my app. I hit it. It say last 3 months of bank statements, and I hit send. And then the bank got it. They got it just like that. Like, watch this. They got it. Then guess what happened? They said something crazy to me. Like, let me see your last 2 years of tax returns, right? Then I just do this. I pick up the phone and I say, hey, my CPA, can you send me over my last 2 years of tax returns? And the CPA say, hold on. Guess what CPA say?
No problem.
And then when the CPA sent it to me, guess what I hit? Forward. Look, I'm getting excited. Then the bank says something to me crazy. Like the bank says, well, let me see your last 3 months of your business bank records. So if you got a business in real life and you getting transactions, all you got to do is go to your bank and say, hold on. You go there, you hit your bank, boom. You say last 3 months, boom, and you send it over, right? Then hold up. Then the bank will say something real crazy. They'll say something so crazy that it'll blow your mind. They'll say, well, let's see the last 2 years of your business tax returns. And then all you got to do is say CPA, CPA, CPA. Send over the last 2 years of business tax returns. They send them over. Look, watch it. They send it to you. You forward it to them. Then you know what they come back and say? They say, well, can we see your profit and loss sheets? Because you got a CPA. Your CPA just says, send, you send. I'm telling you, all of this stuff happens just like this, right? And then guess what happens now? They say something to you. They'll say something crazy to you like, what's your email so we can send this over so you can sign it? And you say, what am I signing? And then you look on there and then it'll say,
approve.
It'll say $150,000 approved. You know what I'm saying? And then you sign it, right? Then you sign it. Watch this. Then you sign it. You sign it, right? After you sign it, then you sitting around like, whew, what's going on? And then you pull out your card and go to the ATM because you got to go do something, and you go do something and you put in the ATM and you look back and you say, man, I only got $500 on my account. But then when you look in your account, it says $150,500. Hey, put the fire emoji in the chat, baby. Put it in the chat.
Hey, man, make sure you hit the like button, man. Let's get at least a 40, 50 likes, man. Come on now, because Flame dropping that heat. Everything he just said, he said it in the beginning. 4 besties, make you some money. Make sure all your documents right. Your taxes. You got some money, so your bank statements is right. If you follow what he's saying from the beginning, by the time you apply for the money, it's a 30-minute conversation tops. You making calls, you sending emails. Hey, CP, I need this. Send me that. They send it to you, you send it to them. It's that easy. But if your stuff is not set up right in the beginning, as soon as they start asking for all these documents, you ain't even communicate with them more because you know you ain't got shit. But just set it up right in the beginning. Just do business. Again, like you said, you was doing some business. So focus on the money before you even focus on the credit. Because typically we get it all confused. Looking at social media, we focus on business credit and we ain't got no business. We're not making no money in our business. So we need to learn how to actually make money on our business so we can actually get this credit to leverage it to grow our business. All right. So let's talk about we talked about the personal credit. We talked about the difference between PG, business credit, and strictly using EIN credit. So let's talk a little bit deeper about actually getting these vendor credit cards. You mentioned it earlier. That's one of the credit you can get. So when you say vendor credit, we're talking about Floor and Decor, we're talking about Home Depot, we're talking about Lowe's, whatever type of business you're in, most people got vendor credit. Granger, I think they got vendor credit. What else? Pretty much everybody. I think you're on mute. There you go.
Okay, so the way that I like to do vendor credit is this, and it makes it a lot easier when we can do it like this. Name me any business in the country. Just name me any business. I don't care what it is.
Let's talk about Best Buy.
Okay, no, I'm talking about a type of business that a person is in, not
construction.
Construction. Okay, so when it comes to construction, right? One of the things is that we got to find out places that has the materials in which we need to operate our business. I want you to write down a list of places that has the materials which you mean to operate your business. So if you're in construction, what type of construction are you? If you're in electrical construction, they may have electrical places that have wire, that have all of these other things that go into outlet switches, and this might be an electrical store. And they may just be for electrical people. So what you want to do is when you go into those stores, what you want to be able to do is you want to contact somebody. You want to go into the business billing department and you want to ask them saying, hey, I want to get in contact with somebody in your credit department. The reason that you want to ask them this, right? Listen, I hope y'all, I don't see enough fire emojis, man. Let me see the fire emojis right quick. Can I see the fire emojis right quick one time? I don't see enough fire emojis right now, man. I don't see enough likes. I don't see enough fire emojis.
We need some engagement, man. Come on now. Y'all just sitting there getting all this information, not engaging. We need some love, man. Come on now. I'm getting a lot of heat, but y'all acting like y'all got stingy energy this morning. Shit. Flame, we just asking for stuff that's free, man. Free little comments, free likes. We ain't say we got nothing for sale. We just ask for free stuff.
For sure, free currency. But listen, I want to share this with you though. So what I think I see everybody coming here. Shout out to Morgan and Queen and everybody that's over there. I see Morris. I see you too. But listen, this is the thing that I want you to understand is that you can find out the feel of nature in which you're in. So for this particular comment section, what we were just talking about was in construction. Constructions have different parts. One of the parts that I'm talking about now is your electrician. So if you're an electrician or if you're a person that is trying to do electrical work and you're trying to build up your business credit, one of the things that you can actually do or build up your business profile is you can go to an electrical store. You know the store. Only electricians know the store that I'm talking about. It's a place where all electricians go, right? That is not a Home Depot nor a Lowe's. Some of these places are like mom and pop places. They're companies just like yours. They just sell the supplies and the materials that you need. What you want to do is contact them, or you want to go in. You always want to go to the place. Go to the place, especially if it's locally, right? You shop locally too. You want to go ahead into the billing department, and then you want to get to the credit department. You want to tell them that you want to set up a business account with them, right? So don't never ask. That's a question that I like to always make sure that I tell you. I never ask them if they have business credit for business owners. I tell them that I want to set up a business account, right?
What's the reason you don't ask?
You said what now?
What's the reason you don't say? What's the reason why you don't say, "Hey, do you guys offer business accounts?" You think because they be what you call that, profiling?
I think that sometimes, but again, I'm just an aggressive by nature type of person anyway, right? So
Yeah.
I always go into everything like they always have it. I force them to tell me they don't have something, as opposed to I'm a positive thinker. So as a positive thinker, I'm going into the place like you got business credit.
Knowing they have it.
I know you got business credit, right? You surely don't have a business this size and not operating business credit, right? There's no way. So I'm going into those places and I'm saying, hey, I want to open up. I'm here to open up an account for business, for your business account. Tell me what the process is, this, that, and the third. And then from that nature, there'll be a lot of things that'll be on the application. It'll be asking you, what is your name? It'll ask you, what is your business name? It'll ask you how long you've been in existence, right? It'll ask you all of these things. What I also like to tell people is that on the inside of your phone log, those things that we had talked about earlier, which is your business address, your phone number, your website, your email, also your corporation paperwork, whether it's your LLC, all that stuff that we had talked about yesterday. Also, not the other day, all that stuff that we had talked about then, as well as your EIN number. Keep a copy of your EIN. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to put you on some game right now. 1-800-829-1040. Again, that's 1-800-829-1040. 829-1040. 1-800-829-1040. I'm going to say it again for you one more time for the people that's in the back. 1-800-829-1040. I know that I call that number every so often, right? So 1-800-829-1040. That is your IRS office. You want to contact your IRS office and you want to make sure that you got a copy of your EIN number. Tell them to fax that over to you. Do not mail it. Mail it takes about, as my guy Demetrius from Bro was saying, hey, it takes about 7 to 10 days for them to mail it. I always get them to fax it over because it comes right away. Make sure you buy a fax machine when you're calling them. And the reason that you want to be by a fax machine when you're calling them, because you want your EIN paperwork. You want your official EIN paperwork, because what we want to do is eliminate anybody that's giving you any excuse about why something cannot be handled right now. And usually that is one of the things. I've been around this game for a while, and that's usually one of the things that actually occurs. Now, why is that, right? You want to make sure that you have your EIN paperwork handy. You want to make sure that you have your official, your corporation paperwork handy. You want to make sure that you got a copy of your ID on your in your file folder. You want to go ahead and have a copy of your ID just in case you might be somewhere and you don't have it on you at that point. You want to make sure that you have a copy of your ID from that standpoint, something that you can send over. All of these things are essential for you guys to being able to get inside of this lane. So, and then we just talked about electrical work, but we did say construction. But what if you're a plumber? They have a plumber store, right? Now, these
AC, HVAC, everything.
HVAC. This is essential from all these stores that you guys are going to, right? They got, even if you got hair companies, right? There are other companies that sell hair, that sell large quantities of hair, right? Figuring out how you guys can get an account with these places. It doesn't matter what type of business that you're in. You want to find out who's the wholesale supplier for the actual products in which you're serving the people for the service that you provide. And then at that point in time, you want to open an account with them. So now you can move your business much further and much faster, quicker as you possibly can. And that's the reason that's why you're doing it. You're not getting into business credit to look like business credit. You're getting business credit to make money so you can actually push your business forward. And that's what it's for.
Hey, Flame, since you talked about that, you walking into the store, asking them, hey, or saying, hey, I want to apply for a credit line or whatever. I always tell the people in my mentorship group, you need to be ready. You need to be ready. Like, have you a Google Drive saying lending docs. You need to have your last 2 tax returns in there. If you got a job, your last 2 W-2s in there. You need to have a picture of your ID. If you got a passport, put your picture of your passport. You need to have every time you apply for credit, everybody asks for the same thing. So you just need to prepare. While you're having this conversation, you talking to them, hey, what's your email? Boom, you send it to them like that. You look good when you have all that already done. Continuously updated. We're just in the new year. As soon as you get your tax return, put it in that folder. All you got to do is send it to them. Boom, everything you need. So you ain't got to keep asking for the same thing. Even though they will, just keep sending them the link. Here you go, here you go, here you go. You're already prepared for what they're about to ask for. You look a whole lot better when somebody asks for something and you got it within 2-3 minutes. It don't take a week or 2 to get a document. It don't look like you got your stuff together. You look terrible.
No, not do they look terrible. Listen, you look like a fraud. You look fraudy. You're fraudy. You're a fraud. Listen, you could be a fraud on your own business. You's a fraud, fraudy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Fraudy over here. When you walk into business, this is what they say. Here come fraudy. Right? Because you came in here with your chest out. This is what he did.
You're putting your stain on your name.
Hey, look, he walked in with his chest out. He says, well, I made about a couple hundred. I said, well, how much money did your business make? Oh, last year I made $500,000. Right? I said, oh, okay. I'm like, all right. So let me see your business tax returns right quick. You got them? I'm sending them. I send them back over to my CPA on vacation. Fraudy. When you walk out of there, they say fraudy. You don't want to be a fraudy, right? Say no to fraudy, man. Don't want to be a fraudy. And the sad thing, I'm gonna tell you what hurts. What hurts is when you don't even realize that you look like a fraudy.
Yes.
Right? You don't even realize. And O'Neal, because this is the time of the year where people make the biggest mistakes of them all. I'm talking about humongous mistakes. And you know what that is? I jump in there because when you dig a hole, sometimes you know what I learned about the hole? You jump in the hole, guess what? I'm on top of it now, baby. So let me show you how this works when you right there. They got a thing that I want you guys to, I need for you guys to put in the chat. And I'm about to give you a 2-word combo so you can make it as 1 word or you can put it as 2. I don't care. But these words right here are as big in this credit world as you can ever see or hear come out of my mouth or even go inside your ears. And that word is called bottom line.
That's what matters.
Listen, that word is called bottom line. Mr. Daniels can tell you that bottom line is everything in business. So you guys are saying, hey, I made $300,000. And it sounds great that you made $300,000.
Wrote off 290.
But when we look at the bottom line said you made 96.
And that's what they're going off of.
But let's talk about, I don't know if it's the elephant in the room, but let's talk about it. When you talk about credibility, can I ask the question, how much better do we have to do it? I'm talking about people of color. How much better do we have to do it than somebody else? And I'm just wondering, is there a difference?
You got to do it way better because they're already expecting us not to have our shit together. That's why I'm telling everybody, y'all need to create a Google Drive or something with all your stuff so you look great when you can just send something while you having a conversation with something. I do it all the time. I be sitting there talking to a lender. I see their email because all lenders got their little card thing and their little cute little card thing.
Yeah.
As soon as you get there, you just pull it. So while we talking, I be like, hey, check your email real quick. I just sent you something. Boom, all my stuff. They be like, oh, I'm impressed. I never got something this fast. You set yourself apart from everybody else. I ain't gotta go make no calls. I ain't gotta go. Let me get back with you in 30 days. Let me get back with you tomorrow. Man, it's already there. Look at that. While we having a conversation, I walk out. I'm good.
But it
So
also it boils
go ahead,
down.
Flame, up there.
No, I said it boils down to this, man. And if you just have this concept, it'll take you in every direction in life, not just in credit, just every direction. We all have a job and a duty, and that's to make everyone's job easier. That's it. You want to make everybody's job easier. Like when we go out to eat, you want to be able to tell the waitress what, hey, think about all the things that you need. Don't let's quit running this waitress 10, 12 times back and forth to the back. Let me get ketchup. Come back. Let me get salt and pepper. Come back. Let me get, let me get Worcestershire. Let me turn around and get steak sauce. Let me get cocktail sauce. You done ran it back 12 times, yo. Come on, man. Like we got to play the game fair, right?
You tired of you.
Yeah. So when we walk into the place, the person that is understanding, because I told you how this worked the other day, but I'm about to reframe this and I'm about to share this with you one more time so you can get this. I want you to grasp this. The first person that you come with when you come into the bank, most of the time is going to be a security guard. That's usually who you're gonna see, right? That sits on the right-hand corner, right? Because I visualize this, so just don't quote me. Anytime I'm telling you stories, I always visualize this. On the right-hand corner is always a security guard. How you doing? Usually catch one, he be extra hard, don't want to wave, don't want to say nothing. You just stay here like this, you know what I mean? But anyway, then the next person, if you look to the left of you, that's usually the teller line. You see the tellers. The right usually is a waiting area. Just in that circle area is a waiting area. Inside those offices are bankers. Some of those offices can be personal bankers. Others could be business bankers. Usually that sits in a corner, usually a caddy corner. I don't know which corner, but it's usually a caddy corner in that building. That's where the branch manager usually sits. She usually has that corner office, the one to kind of get the big room or whatever. And the reason I'm telling you all this before is because inside of here, they also have operations. So if you're sitting down, when you're talking to a business banker, that business banker is taking your information and they're inputting it in the machine. Inputting it in the computer. Then after they input it in the computer, right, then they're sending it over to the loan officer. That loan officer is your gateway between you and the underwriter, which is the person that makes the decisions at that bank, right? So now what you want to do is you want to make sure, because you want to make sure that the banker and your loan officer has all your information up front. So you want to make it exactly what you said, O'Neal, word for word, verbatim, is that you want to make sure that they got everything up front as they need it. Now, I don't never give them nothing before they need it. I don't do that. But what I do is that when they ask for it, I give it to them immediately. So when you made that Google Drive, that was exceptional, right? That was exceptional. And as O'Neal, as we also know, that everybody here has a smartphone. And so by you having a smartphone, right, it's always that one person that got a Nokia still. But for the most part, everybody got a smartphone. And with those smartphones now, O'Neal, they have little things in there, like on an Apple, they have a thing called files. They have a folder right at the front, right? Or if
most people don't even use that shit.
You feel me? Or either you go to your Google Drive, as you just stated, right? Or anything of that nature, but you want to have all of your documents in one place so you can just boom, boom, bam. Just remember the words. It's called boom, boom, bam, right? So boom, boom, bam. When they ask you for something, I want you to always think in your head. I want you to always put in your head, watch this, O'Neal, let's hit them with it. Boom, boom, bam. Can I get your ID? Boom, boom, bam.
Boom, boom, bam.
Can I get this? Boom, boom, bam. Whatever you're doing, you just always want to say boom, boom, bam. Boom, boom, bam. You always want to just say, let me get your tax returns. Boom, boom, bam. Let me get your profit and loss. Boom, boom, bam. Income statement. Boom, boom, bam. You know, all of these things are just boom, boom, bam, and to the point that where they're like you, O'Neal. They said, damn, you got this? You got all of this? No, baby, I'm a business. Don't get it twisted.
They all ask for the same document, so you should know what's coming anyway. They all ask for the same thing. So so we talked about the vendor credit, man. I think that was pretty good. Every business has a vendor. It doesn't matter what business you're in. Establish a line of credit with them. Let's talk about Fintech lending, man, because it's pretty new. I think this came out maybe 3 years ago. Well, it got more popular about probably 2-3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. Ruby, could you
I
bring up
used it.
that link? Should be. Well, I'm gonna send it to you. I don't even think I brought it up. Let me see. Send it to you real quick so everybody can see. Nah, it's the other, the one I just sent. My bad. It's the third one.
While we waiting on that, I've actually had opportunities because I use PayPal as my PayPal and Stripe as credit card processing,
Mm-hmm.
and
They see all them
I don't even
deposits.
have to. Right, I don't even have to ask them for money. They're offering it to me. They say you can't based on the business volume, you are eligible to get this much money, and they send it to
Yes,
me for
indeed.
months. And then yeah, well, I could use it now because I'm getting ready to level up some stuff. So I go in, it takes a few seconds, man, a few seconds, and it's approved. It's in the bank. It's in the bank that day. So
Man,
I've gotten over 150,000 from PayPal. I've gotten I don't know, 60, 70,000 from Stripe, you know. And then how you pay them back? They take a percentage of your receipts as they come in. They take a percentage of it to pay them back. It's simple, and it's a one-time fee. So
every time
and
money
so
come in, they just take it out your money. Basically,
yeah, just take it out. Yep, yep.
beautiful thing,
And so
man.
since
Play.
yep,
Oh,
so
go ahead.
it's
Go ahead, Dan. My
great.
bad.
No, I'm just saying that it is possible to get. I've done it, and you don't even have to ask most times because they offer it. And so what you want to do is this: if you have like two really good months, because they base it on what you've done recently. All right, you've done 2 really good months, then they're going to offer you more. All right, but it's only that offer is only going to be good until a certain day in the following month, and then they're going to reassess. Okay, so if you need that money, and if your receipts go down in that next month, make sure you apply for the money before they reassess. Does that make sense? So if they
Because your
reassess
offer
on
gonna
the
go down.
20th, yes, because your offer is going to go down. If they reassess on the 28th and you need that money based on what they gave you last month, then apply before the 28th of the month. Then you will get the higher amount that they offer, not the readjusted lower amount based on your recent income from your business.
So Don, I got a quick question for you. You say you got over 100,000 with PayPal. What's some things in your business that you can use that money for?
All right, advertising. Okay,
To bring in more
advertising.
customers.
Yep, bring in more customers. I use it for if I'm going to on a trip, so that I can level up my skills. So I can I can come see you guys in Texas and learn how
Like
to.
education.
Yes, for my education, man. So yeah, I pay for that. I pay for I use it to pay for uh, to pay salaries. You know, I use that money. Sometimes when like in December and in January, some businesses actually don't create a lot of income during those months. All right. It
Right.
depends. So if you're a business that suffers in December and January, that business credit helps you to, tide you over until things start picking up again. So I use it for that.
Nice,
So whatever
nice,
I
nice.
need, whatever I need in the business, That's what we use it for. And so I've got to make sure that my servers are all, because we have a cloud-based business. So I make sure my servers that those people are paid. Customer service people, I got to make sure that they're paid. I got to make sure that we keep the best technology. I got to keep up on now, I don't do all of that stuff. I got to pay people who can tell me what I need to make sure that we have the best technology up front. And so I pay for that. So there's a lot of things you have to pay for.
Hey man, business costs. Business is expensive, but you use it for your business, basically, what you're supposed to use it for. So,
exactly.
So
use it for the business.
So you got that money. You didn't even have to leave your house.
No, listen. All you need is a smartphone. But I did it on my computer. But I could have done it on my phone.
And you got the money the same day you applied.
Same day I applied, and within a few hours, now I could have it. I could have it instantly deposited, but they want to charge you a little bit extra. So I just wait till I said, well, send it to me tomorrow.
You waited 2 days. Yeah, you waited 2 days.
Yeah, don't be trying to dip into my money any more than you have to.
Yeah. Don't be taking no extra funds. So Flame, if you can explain, in your opinion, what is fintech lending? This, a lot of people don't even know about fintech lending.
Oh, so fintech lending it's an off base from actual banks, right? So what they're able to do is it's a technology company, so it's more web based. So these companies they're newer to the industry as of now. This is when they were actually, instead of using the banking prospects or the banking attributes, this is when they collectively came together and have investors, where those investors kind of do the investing, a cumulative of investors, which they're able to lend off of. So definitely they're not FDIC under that scope, which the traditional banks are. But they're able to give stuff to you faster, and they're able to serve two purposes. One purpose is that the lenders themselves, right? So we got to always find out what is it for them. They're able to make a bigger return, a faster return on certain things. Because as you just heard Mr. Don talk about, one of the end things was that when he's able to go get his funding attribute from that, when he was able to get his funding, one of those things is that they said, hey, we're going to take a percentage. We know how much money comes into your bank account. Why? Because if you're dealing with places like Stripe and PayPal, they're already a part of your banking process because they're merchant accounts and they're able to take in money. So they're able to see the amount of money that you're bringing in daily, weekly, bi-weekly. They can see this money coming in. Like they can see the trend. Like as you make a transaction, Stripe knows you made that transaction. PayPal knows that you made that transaction as that transaction is occurring, right? And so now they're able to lend off of that because now they can able to see the volume in which you're able to do and able to give a percentage based upon that as well. So now we know that. We're going into it, we know that, right? So now with these fintech lenders, even though it's the financial technology company, things about them, right? They may have higher interest rates, right? They may give you higher interest rates, but they may give you faster approval. So you don't have to go through the traditional route of having to come up with your tax returns and all of these type of things. They might not require that, right? They may not even require for you to be able to show your personal credit, right? They're going strictly off of the volume of the business, which can, in some retributes, can be very helpful to a business, right? To a business that needs that funding to go forward, to help them get more products and help them to ensure more business owners pertaining to it, right? So now that we know that, now we know how to act accordingly when it comes to fintech lending. So that's the basis of it. It's a financial technology company, web-based, that actually distribute funds from investors, which collectively comes up with different groups to do things of that nature.
And not only that, but they use, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead, Dan.
But they use an algorithm. Their computers, their AI system looks at all the money's coming in, and the AI system sends out those those automated emails. So this is what you can be approved for. You know, this will be based on your income. So it's not like somebody is looking at what you're bringing in, because they have too many people for somebody to take a look at that. A computer is making that decision. So
yeah, they got threshold They got threshold monitors, meaning that once you hit this threshold in this amount of time, then see everybody knows that if somebody tells you, O'Neal, would you think a $1 million is a lot of money? Just out of curiosity, right?
Nah,
Okay, would you say $10 million is a lot of money?
that's a lot. Yeah, that's a
Okay,
lot.
so $10 million is a lot of money. But if I told you I made $10 million over 50 years, does that mean something? Not at all. But what if I told you I made $10 million what if I told you I made $10 million last month? Does that mean something?
Yeah, you got everybody eyes raised on now.
You see what I'm saying? So the more the story is, what I'm coming here is not about the money that you're bringing in, but it's about the money you're bringing in the time that you're bringing it in, right? So in the timing of it, right? So when
30 days.
That's why when you guys are having products, so this is strictly on business now, staying with business credit, but you guys are going to understand it. That's why it's essential to have big money products when you're selling these products. If you got a low cost offer of a product, right now you start to go from a low cost offer to a major offer, right? If you got a product that's at $500, do you got something to bring them into the door for $20, right? Or something of that nature. The whole thing is just to get volume and getting that ringer to ring it. If you got something that you're selling, if you got a product or a service that you're selling, you're trying to always bring money in, because now it keeps that ringer going. It keeps that ringer going all day long of all these purchases and things that goes on along with everything. You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So let's talk about this, man. With the fintech, because I know a lot of people never heard of it before. What are the pros and cons of doing a fintech? They got pros, you know, they always got good and bad things of a lot of different things. So what do you think is the pros of it? What are the cons of it?
Well, I think a lot of...
And these are the top 6 fintech companies right now. If you can go back up a little bit, Ruby. This is the top as of now. They got Brex #1, they got Divvy, they got Bluevine, they got Stripe, Ramp, and Meet the Unicorn. So Brex, you could probably break that down a little bit more, but with Brex, I think you gotta have what, $50,000 liquid or $100,000 liquid tax to get that card. If I'm not mistaken. You know what it is exactly, Flynn? Is it 50 or 100?
So Brex, let's break them down. So Brex is in the financial industry, definitely fintech, and that's when a lot of people are going. That's when when your volume is. I think it's about, you can do it at 100,000, but I think they do it more off the volume of what comes in. Just the volume. Yeah. So Brex is a easable, lendable company. It does not pull off your personal credit. But what it does do is it pulls off a lot of these things. So listen, I'm about to introduce something to this platform. So I want you guys to see this in real time, and it's going to correlate with everything that he's saying exactly with these fintech companies. These are called the subsidiaries of a lot of these companies, which is the backbone to this fintech, right? And those are your companies such as like Plaid, Tilful. I just seen another one the other day. What was the name of the other one? Yabra, I'm not saying it right. And what does that mean? Let me explain to you exactly what does that mean. This is where you would attach. Now I want y'all to pay very close attention to it, because this right here is going to make a lot of leeway, right? Mr. Don, you've probably seen this before as well. This is where when you go into your account, what they would tell you is, they say, hey, in order for us to even complete any of this stuff, we need to attach your actual bank account to this method right here. What they want to do, they want to attach your bank account to it, right? And it's a couple of different ones. Play is just one, right? So they want to attach your bank account to it. And what happens is there's going to be a list of bank accounts there. But you know what bank accounts are there? You guessed it. Those Power 8 banks are sitting right there for you, right? Anytime that you don't have a reputable, I'm gonna hit a stumbling block. Anytime that you don't have a reputable bank, it's not going to show on that list, for one, and then they don't take that particular bank as serious. That's why a lot of times when you look at certain things, and a lot of respect goes out to the company called Chime, because maybe they're going to have me work with them one day. So I can't never shit on them, right? So shout out to Chime and everything that it stands for, right? But with that, what I'm saying for that is that you want to have a company that is represented very well, because this is where you would take your login, your actual login that you would go onto your phone, and you would use a login and a password to get into your account. You would take that login and password and you would attach it to them, right? So now your actual bank account is deviated to the actual to them. So now when you make that check box, they usually have come with they usually give you about 5 or 6 different check boxes. And within them check boxes, one of those things, and it'd be very small words along the way, but don't forget, they don't have to follow that same criteria with that within them check boxes, that they're going to fall off in a different criteria, meaning that you don't have to follow that company standpoint on it, right? Meaning that those check boxes are going to give them authorization to go into those accounts. And that's something I want to make sure that you knew.
I love it. That's just basically breaking down Brex. I think Brex is a phenomenal card. But what other kinds do they have with the Fintech? Typically the interest rates are a little high, right? I think Flame got out of there. Out.
Yeah.
But typically,
I don't care.
Go ahead.
But I don't care about interest rate. I really don't.
Why don't you care about interest rate? Nah, because most people care about the interest rate.
I don't care about interest rate because interest rate is a liar. Interest rate has always been a liar. Okay. So when you're thinking about getting loans, we focus on the words 9%. We focus on the words 7% or 10% or 12%. Those are just words. Okay. But if I said we have to pay back this money at 10%, okay, how much in dollars and cents are you talking about? Okay. Can I give you a quick example of what I'm talking about here? Okay. Yeah. So I'm working with this doctor, and he's in California, and he's in our program, and he wants to pay back. You know, he tinkers around the house, and he's got this money from Lowe's. All right, and he's got it on a 12-month same as cash, 0% interest. Right. So he says, I want to pay back this. I want to pay back this card within 12 months. So he wants to increase his minimum payment so he can be done with the card within 12 months. I said, why do you want to pay off the card in that amount of time? He says, because I don't want to pay the accrued interest. If I don't pay this off, then I have to pay all the interest for the entire year. And I said, well, how much interest is that? He said 17%. I said, no, that's the interest rate. How much interest in dollars and cents are you trying to avoid? He said, I don't know. I said, you're making financial decisions based on the fact that you don't know how much money you're trying to avoid? So he called. When he called, he came back because we were doing this over Zoom. He came back. He says, yeah, I'm going to take it back down to the minimum payment. I said, well, why is that? He says, because when I called them, he says, if I don't pay it off in time, I owe them $300. $300. He could take that same money, put it on his mortgage, okay, and save $12,000 in interest with that same amount of money. And he's trying to pay off free money. See, I don't listen to interest rate. I only deal with interest cost. How much is the interest cost going to be? And now, how can I manipulate the amortization schedule so that I don't even have to pay that? How can I cut my interest cost by 50 to 75%? O'Neill, you're in business. You know what it means to cut costs when you have to do repairs. You know what it means to cut costs when you're trying to do a demo. I've seen some of your I've seen some of your one of your Instagrams where you're out looking at a house and said, I'm not taking off all the siding off the house. I'm just going to fix the part that needs to be fixed. It lowers, it lowers my expenses. So if I lower my expenses, I can make more money. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't hear anything else, hear this. You can lower the cost of borrowing money, and you don't need more money to do it. You just need to understand how to read, understand, and take advantage of an amortization schedule. We're talking about debt, and we're giving about credit, and we're giving out game here today, ladies and gentlemen. I mean serious game. But none of us have ever had a class on how the bank makes their money through interest and how we can avoid paying it. There's a lot, we have a lot of information out there on how to keep your money once you make it, all right? How to avoid taxes legally and keep more of your money, okay? Do you realize that if you're in business and you use bank money, you're going to pay far more interest than you'll ever pay in taxes? And we have no plans at all, no strategies to save interest money. We got plans to save tax money, but we don't have plans to save interest money. Do you know why? Because the tax money we save doesn't hurt the bank's profit, their bottom line. It doesn't help their bottom line. The first amortized loan was in 1936. The first self-amortizing loan was in 1936. And since that time, there have been no education on how the thing works, not in junior high, not in middle school, not in high school, not in college, not in business school. If I gave your CPA $500 and said, now take this $500 and place it on your mortgage principal, and now tell me how much interest did you just save? Your CPA could not tell me. Do you know why? It is because they're not taught to understand how a loan actually works. How in the world did we get in a situation where real estate agents, loan officers, people that lend us the money, people that you have to sit down with to get the money, absolutely have not been taught how the amortization process actually works, how interest is actually calculated, and how paying it. They don't understand it either. Listen, that's like learning how to drive a truck. All right, you drive a semi cross country, but they didn't teach you how to back the thing up.
That's crazy.
I'm done.
You only could drive forward. Man, I got quick, man. For everybody that's in business, you need to communicate with your customers. Make sure y'all check out GoTaskify.com. I'm put in the chat. GoTaskify.com. The CRM that we use, we get to text our people, email our people. We sign contracts. What Flame was talking about, you gotta have agreements. We sign agreements through there. Is the place to go if you in business again. And you need to communicate with your customers. You need to send out mass texts, mass emails. You need people to hit you up. You need different numbers because a lot of people don't want to use their personal numbers. If you need multiple different numbers, if you operate business in different states, you need the zip code of the city that you're in. I mean, you need the what's the 3-digit code called? Is it the zip code? Nah, it ain't the zip code. What's the 3-digit called in the front of a number? What is it? Area code. You need that when you communicate with people because most people don't text back or call back numbers that they're not familiar with. So if you need different numbers for your business to communicate with people, make sure you go check out GoTaskify.com. Another thing, hit the like button, man. It's called area code. Appreciate it, Brandon. I couldn't even think about it. Area code. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, join our memberships. We got 3 different levels. We got Trailblazer, Legacy, and Visionary. Whichever one makes sense for you, make sure you hit join, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Flame Don giving you a lot of valuable information that you could use in your business today. Check that out, man. That being said, let's get back to the content. Let's get back to it. Damn, I couldn't think about the name of it at all, man. I appreciate you. I seen Flame was laughing in the back at me. I would say a zip code, area code.
Now,
Yo,
yes,
mute.
those things that is one of those things, and we all go through it. Is like you're saying what it is, and I'm like, I'm trying to think of 3-digit code, and then when you said area code, I'm like,
most people don't be answering phone calls or text back if it's from a random ass area code.
No, that's true.
You know?
That's true. That's true.
So if you're in business, you need a number with the same area code of the people who you're trying to talk to. I'm gonna put the link in the chat, man. Y'all go check that out, man. Y'all get 10% off if you want to check it out. But let's talk about. I think you had logged off a little bit. What's the cons of dealing with fintech banks? Blaine?
Oh well, yeah.
I know we mentioned interest, and then Don tackled it. He tackled the interest.
Yeah.
Because I think the interest rates are a little bit higher with the fintech companies compared to other smaller banks.
Yeah, and frequent payments, right? That's another thing as well. Frequently payments. So as a traditional loan, you may have an option to where you make that loan payment on the 15th of every month, right? Or the 1st or the 5th or whatever it may be, whatever that number is for you for that month. That's when your payments may come out. But when it comes to fintech lending, now there's 3 attributes that I like to pay attention to. One is the interest rate, what we talked about before. Number 2 of the thing is the frequency of how those payments can come out. Because for a small business owner, that could be detrimental to a person, right? Being able to get those frequent payments out like that. And they may not know how to operate under that scope. Right. And then when you start to the number 3 is when I was telling you before I kind of logged off, that was telling you about the Plaid and the Tiffle and all of those connections, being able to have access to your account in a multitude of different ways. Right. So when you take into consideration of those things and a lot of some of these fintech companies, they can be attached to other fintech companies. So when you do something wrong to one, for the other fintech as well. So knowing that some of those three positive things that could be for someone actually can be reversed and be negative for someone else as well.
Love it, I love it. So we're trying to give y'all as much information as possible with the fintech. Because I said I know it's new to a lot of people. So make sure you do your research on that. Make sure y'all check out that article. They'll give you more information on that. I'll put it in the chat. Trying to give you as much information, man. Y'all just be out here flying for stuff and don't even do the back end research.
Nah, that's the crazy thing. They don't do no research on that, and they just sometimes based upon what somebody else told them.
Don't do it.
And I think a lot of times I think that's where things will stop at. If you guys sometimes just do your research on certain stuff, going into it, making sure that you guys have a business plan. Do you guys have a business plan? Do you guys know about your business description of your business, right? Do you have an executive summary? Can you show me anywhere where do you plan your business to be at in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years down the line, right? Can you show me how much does your actual products cost for you to actually do your service or your business, right? Do you understand about your competitors in the area that you're in, right? Why is it? Somebody told me the other day, right? They were saying the words to me. They said, "Man, I'm thinking I'm going to open up a barbecue spot." Right? He said, it isn't the one in the area, right? And I'm like, oh, I think that's a great idea. It sounds like a great idea to me if you don't see any barbecue spots in the area. But what he didn't know, Mr. Don and O'Neill, was they didn't know that place was full of Muslims. So when you get into those different attributes, they didn't do their market research.
Whoa. Bruh. You got to do your market research.
ain't no pork up in there.
No, you know what I mean?
It's a beautiful business, but ain't gonna make no money. Not in that community.
Nah, and it may could be, or a person could very well have a burger spot that they want to open up, and it sounds very good, and I think the world of their burgers. But the area that they're in a downtown location, but in this downtown location, O'Neill and Mr. Don, the fact of the matter is that this is a place that it's a fitness area over here, right? And the high probability and a high capability of a vegan burger may be more substantial in that area, or making sure that you have that vegan burger on the menu, right? Being able to make sure that you can that you know these things, or understanding that, hey, even when that you're ordering you're ordering your items, if you're a seafood restaurant or a sports bar, knowing that you're in the middle of 3 or 4 different major hotels, right? And understanding that, hey, this weekend they have a big conference coming in town, and they have a sports thing coming in. So it allows you to know to say, hey, my order this week needs to be a little more than it usually been, because you can get it to a spot to where you didn't order enough, right? But all of these things can be indicated that's on your business plan and about how you're planning your stuff, so you don't make these necessarily mistakes that's going down the road, right? So you did have enough food, so you didn't have people in there complaining. So you're making sure that, hey, here it is 3 days before your alcohol license is supposed to be renewed. You haven't did it yet, right? And then things happen, right? So now you don't have a way to search people to find out about their IDs and the legitimacy of it. And now you serve someone that was under the age of 21. Now your liquor license got taken. I mean, all of these things of being able to have in place your protocol, understand that you have your SOPs together. You got all of these things together when it comes to your business, because all of these things are really detrimental to your business, because if you don't have them in place, now you're going to be in a position where you're going to be able to fall, right? You understood that, hey, in this particular spot right here, you wanted to put a restaurant here, but the last 4 restaurants didn't make it from here, right? Maybe you're understanding that, hey, let me talk to the bank first before I go into something, because here I am, I'm trying to get a location, but is a location the thing for me to get here, right? Because this bank didn't fund this location. Why? Because the last 3 people that funded this place as a restaurant, they turned it into a nightclub and 3 people got killed. So, you got to know these things going in about how this stuff works. And then now when you got your attributes together, especially for your business plan, 15 pages or more, and you're very detailed and very graphic about the things that you want. What kind of chairs do you want in your restaurant? How much do those chairs cost? So when you go into the bank and you're telling them, saying, hey, I need $150,000, I need $200,000, is justified, because now you're showing them where the money is going to be spent, and you also showing them how the return of the money is going to come back on their investment, right? And so when you can put that in detail, now it takes you to a whole different level with it. You know what I mean?
Flame, can I talk to you about that business? Can I talk about that business plan for just a second?
Yes, sir.
How many business plans that you've seen include paying coaches or individuals to teach the people the things that they need to know about the business? I mean, they're paying for a lot of other stuff, but they want to skimp on the very knowledge that's going to get them to the bag faster. They don't want to pay people. How many business plans actually include paying for the coach?
You know the answer to that, Mr. Don. You know the answer to that. Them folks don't want to pay for nobody, right? They want to hit your line for free and try to ask you. They're trying to quick. What's that word called? Yeah, hey, somebody in the audience, write that thing in there what other people do to the people that got information. Oh, I got it. Quick question. I got a quick.
Let me pick your brain real quick.
In other words, let me get a free consultation from you real quick. Let me know. You know what I mean?
Let me bring out the coffee.
Yes. But
I don't even drink coffee.
And the thing about it is, and you're so right, listen, I cannot agree with you more, is the mere fact that those coaches and those people that you need to have to making sure that your business right can be involved in your business plan. The thing about it is these banks will pay for it. Let me tell you again, these banks will pay for it. They will pay for it. You just got to put it in the business plan and show them how it makes sense for you to have it, right? Because this person is giving me the skill set that this is a weekly thing. This is a monthly thing. This is a payment that I have to pay out. Now, all of this thing can be coordinated, because what you're showing them is saying, hey, I'm invested into your investment, and your investment is me. Damn, boy, that was a whole
nice.
Piece of work.
That was nice, Flame. That was nice.
I'm invested into your investment, and your investment is me. I need to write that down. Somebody write that down and send it to me.
You gotta bring that down, man. I'll go back to the recording, man. It's an hour and 58 minutes, man. You crazy. They're crazy. So let's talk about the next one, man. We're talking about what everybody's familiar with. We're talking about traditional banks. We're talking about the big eight, what we talked about earlier. Let's talk about that. So this is a website I use that y'all need to use, uscreditcardguide.com. Ruby, let me see. Yeah, you good. This breaks down what we're talking about. You click on whichever one you're interested in, and you actually start reading to gain information on what you're about to apply for. They tell you everything in there. They tell you the credit score needed. They tell you the interest-free period. They tell you reward points. They tell you all that. So just click on one of them real quick. Let's go to go down real quick. Let's click on one of them Chase real quick.
Too. Let me tell you about US Credit Card Guide too. Let me tell you about them.
Break it down.
No, they update their stuff pretty often, and usually their stuff we kind of give or take right on measurement with timing. So this is a very good guide for you guys to get. If you guys see the link, if they put the link in the chat for this, once you guys grab this link and make sure this is part of your portal, it tells you especially when you're getting ready to apply. Because when you're getting ready to apply for a credit card, I'm just going to sit right here right quick before you go, is that when you get ready to apply for a credit card, there are certain things that you want to know. What do you put on your application? Did you know that where you apply for a credit card may have a direct result in the amount of points in which you're able to get from a credit card issue when it comes to your initial points from them, right? Sometimes they have welcoming offers. Sometimes those welcoming offers, we did it live one time when I was on a social media app called Clubhouse. You guys ever heard of that before? And that was we did a live study where a person that was in I think they might have been in the Carolinas. In the Carolinas, they had a $60,000 offer. Where I was in Arizona and another person was in Detroit, Michigan, and we both had $90,000 for the same exact card. So depending on where you're applying for cards, the difference of $30,000 points can be a big difference between you getting a flight ticket to go someplace or something like that, right? So now when you start to think about these type of things, now it makes a lot of sense. And what to put on the application, you don't want to lie on any application. If they ask you a question, you want to be able to answer it correctly. And you want to also, it asks you on there about what's your income, how much money are you making, what is your address, what's your business address. All of these things that we talked about previously are all the same things that you're going to put on this application so you can be able to grow your business fundily, especially when it comes to financially good stuff.
So Flame, how important is it that you go on a website like US Credit Card Guide and actually gain information on what you're trying to apply for? Could you speak on that real quick? Because people tend to not do this at all.
Oh, because it makes
all.
Yeah. For starters, let me tell you this. I use it. Let's start from there, right?
I use it too.
I use it, and all the professionals that are in the credit realm, they use it as well, right? And the reason that you want to go there for one is that the information that they're giving you, it can help you determine when is the right time to apply for a card. Now may not be the right time to apply for a certain card. You want the card, we didn't say that you can get it, right? You may have reached a season where they're saying, hey, we can give you a $200,000 offer. We give you a $150,000 offer with these type of things, right? You understand that the fees and about different things that you can apply for them. That's the reason that I use it, because of the information is updated, and this updated information can make you some money. Like it can actually make you some money, or save you some money rather, which makes you money.
Nice. I like it. Let's talk about this real quick. Because you said the big eight, right? Big eight banks who you want to get business credit with. Is there any certain order? Should I apply with American Express first, then Bank of America, then Citibank, then hit Chase? Or should I do Chase first, American Express? The sequence is very important when getting funding, like business funding. So talk to us about that funding sequence, because people they can fuck it up real easy just getting all excited.
Yeah, so they have a 5 and 24 rule with Chase, right? So
break that down real quick. What's the 5-24 rule? Because 5-24 may not know what it is.
The 524 rule means that if you've had any credit cards, right, in a 24-month time period, right, they will not give you your credit cards, right? I mean, they give me, but most they're not giving you no credit cards, right? So if 5 and 24 only means that so hypothetically, say you went and got a U.S. bank card, that's your first card, so we're gonna count that as number one. Say if you went and got a Chase card, now I'm gonna count that as number two. Say if you went and got an Amex card, we're gonna count that as number three, right? And then say, so say at the end of the first year, you end of your first year, you went back and you got a Chase card again. That's number four. So you got two Chase card, a U.S. bank card, and an Amex, right? But so now, when you go get another card, so hypothetically you go get a fifth card, and that fifth card hypothetically is a credit union, right? Now that's 5 cards that you've had in 15 months. But that's within a 24-month time period. So now when you go apply for a Chase card again, the Chase card is pretty much is going to deny you in most attributes. And that is because they don't want you to have more than 5 new cards in a 24-month time period. So that's why it's essential when you guys are going to get your credit cards, just so you're not thrown off the loop. I've always stated to the folks that I want you to start with Chase first. Right. But it's kind of hard to start with Chase first, too, if you don't have any credit cards on your credit profile at all. So if you don't have any showing at all, right, you're going to most likely have to go get another credit card if your credit is if your credit is just not all the way A1, if you don't have enough installment accounts in there like houses, mortgages, and things of that nature. You may have to start with something of that nature to get the ball rolling, get a card going, and then do the rest with Chase. But that's where I would always tell people that you want to start with Chase first.
Well, Chase is usually a good bank to go with it when you have a healthy profile.
For sure.
Definitely not wasting ink part.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the Chase. I'm looking over here now. And the ink is always very good. That's always their business cards. The co-branded cards, I could pretty much do with anything else. I'm not a big, it's just my personal thing. I don't knock it from anyone else. I'm not a big co-branded card person. When I can just actually go to them and just get the card I want and use it on the co-brand that they have, right?
So could you break down them co-branded cards since they have them up right here? So this is a perfect opportunity so y'all can actually see what a co-branded card is. So those co-branded card, oh, go ahead, Glenn.
No, you was right. You was on point. Listen.
So a co-branded card is like what you see a lot is like Marriott card. Typically, Marriott is partnered with I think it was Amex. Marriott's with Amex, right? You're on mute. You're on mute, Glenn.
You said Marriott? Yeah.
Yeah, they with Amex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and Hilton.
Amex.
Uh-huh.
Hilton's with Amex. So you ever go to Marriott and say, hey, you want to apply for a card? That's a co-branded card. And you got some up right here. You got a United. That's a co-branded card. So that's what that is. Southwest, for the people that don't know. It's co-branded cards.
Just like, for example, like when you go down there, right? One instance is that you see that like that Costco card, right? You see Costco, right? But you know what's crazy, right? When you go to that Costco card, go down some right there, right? When you see that Costco card right there, right? Here's the thing about Costco, right? You don't see them partnered up with Amex, do you? They're not. They're partnered up with Chase. So I said Chase. When they partnered up, you can't use an Amex card at Costco. See how this works?
Damn. I never even knew that. At all? They don't accept them?
No.
Look at this. Stay right there real quick, Ruby. Recommended application time. They got the 865 rule. You can apply at most 1 city cards every 8 days. At the most 2 city cards every 65 days, whether approved or not. City value is the number of recent hard pulls a lot. We recommend that you apply when there's less than 6 hard pulls in the past 6 months. We recommend you apply for this card after you have a credit history for at least 1 year. So people, again, go on this website, take 5-10 minutes out of your busy day. You know, everybody's so busy these days. And before you apply for a card, see if you even fit the requirements that they say they look for. You know you got 10 inquiries, there's no reason you should be applying for this card because you go get another denial and you go get another hard pull. That's simple. Just do the work.
So Brandon asked a question. He said, "Is Discover a good credit card?" Right. So now let me stay right there for a second. When it comes to Discover, Discover is, if you're 18 years old and you're just getting started on your credit journey, right, and you're just getting going, then okay, right? But no. You see what I'm saying? Right.
That's a starter card.
It's a starter card, but it's a starter card for a starter that ain't gonna play. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It's a starter card.
That's the question with that, Flame. So, of course, you got your starter card. You're just starting out. Should he ever close that card, or should he just keep it and maybe use it once every 3 months just to keep it active? What's your thoughts about that?
And we always have, us as credit people that's in the rim, we always have, everybody's got their go with this, right? And I think that's good.
Yeah.
Let me share with you, right? And these are my thoughts. If you've had that card for quite some time, if you had that card for, 5 years, 3 years, you had that card for quite some time, don't close that card, right? But if you got something that can replace that card during that time, which means you've already acquired some of the stuff that you was looking for, yeah, I could say that you can close that card, right? Especially if it's meaning good. But on the flip side to it is that if you recently acquired that card within the last 6 months to a year, especially last 6 months, 9 months, and you don't have anything on and you got plenty of things on your credit, and you got one of those, let's call them not too fancy type of credit cards, right? You got like First Premier Credit Ones, shout out Discovers and stuff like that. Then I would say go ahead and close that card, right? Because at this point, the harm is not, you haven't reached much plateau with that card. So I will only suggest closing that card under two situations. One is that if you just recently acquired that card, or two, even if you had it for quite some time, if you got something to replace it, whether it's an authorized user or something of that nature. But for the most part, I'm going to tell you to keep that card.
Gotcha. So talk to us about Amex real quick. I know Amex you said Amex and Chase is two good ones. What's the benefits of having a Amex card? And should everybody have an Amex card?
So one of the things that somebody should do prior to they doing anything is find out, what do they spend their money on? What do they spend their money on coercively, right? Where do you spend your money? Because the credit cards are built for where you spend your money at, right? What we do know across the board is that's going to give you your least amount, and it doesn't really hold much weight, is cashback cards, right? Anybody that's been in the rim, we don't like cashback cards because you get your most value when you start to convert your cards over to points, reward points, and that helps extend when you start able to book your travel and that sort of thing. So yeah, definitely, you want to be in the neighborhood of having your Amex cards pertaining to that, right? Being able to know that where you're going to accumulate your points from, right? That's a big thing. Like, how do you spend your bread, but where do you spend it at? For a particular of a person like myself, I'm a person that goes out to eat a lot, right? I go out to eat. I meet people out to eat. I go out to eat. So guess what I'm able to do? I'm able to get 4 times the points when it comes to dining, right? I'm able to get into that particular category, right? But I'm also saying, hey, I may go out to go shopping, to go grocery shopping, right? I get 4 times the points there as well, right? It allows you to start looking at other things, right? Like this, O'Neal, it allows you to understand what's in that particular store in which you can purchase your credit card with, right? So now when I look at a grocery store, I look at it and I say, they have meats that I can get into the department, Pauls, but they also got other things such as they got vegetables that's over there, canned goods. They got all of these things that's in there, right? But maybe sometimes, maybe I might go get a car charger or something like that, right? Does the grocery store carry that? The answer is yes, right? Some grocery stores may carry that, right? Maybe I might look over there and say, hey, here it is. I'm going to get a birthday gift, and maybe I'm going to go get a gift card. So if I'm going to go get a gift card, I may be in the outline of saying, hey, I may go to the grocery store to get it because now I can get more value, more points on stuff like that. So when you get into these type of rims, now you start to see about what can you be able to get, how can you be able to purchase it, and how can you win with it. And that's what I say. You got to understand first, you got to do an evaluation with yourself to find out where's your everyday spend at. And then from that everyday spend, will being able to show you what credit card is best for you based upon your own spending habits.
I love it, man. I love it. So they need to do that personal wise and business wise, right?
For sure. Yeah, because there's different strokes for different folks, right? You know that, for example, if you certain cards, you may say, hey, you know what, Flame, I don't even have a card, right? I use Uber and Lyft everywhere I go. Did you also know that you can get rewarded for using Uber and Lyft everywhere you go, right? And these type of things kind of make your match, especially when you start talking about your personal and your business, because you can say to yourself, hey, I got an annual fee that I'm paying with my gold card, right? I might not need it with my business. I may not need a business gold card. I may be better up to being able to get a business blue plus card or something of that nature. So now you're able to open up your network to seeing which cards are best available for you. But now here's the thing, O'Neal. Now I'm about to drop some bombshells in here. You ready for this one, O'Neal?
Uh-oh.
Go.
Right?
Uh-oh.
So I got a question.
About to get excited.
I got a question because you got me going now, right? So I got a question to you guys. This is a question, right? My only question to you guys right now is, because I'm telling this girl, right? Me and her having a conversation, and I'm telling her you can only have one. You can only have one social security number. Is that correct? One social security number. Would you say that's correct? It's only one. Correct. So you don't get two. You only get one, right?
No CPN.
Okay, yeah. So you only get one social security number, right? But so when you fix up your credit's already good, right? It's like you got it together. It's showroom ready, right?
Yep.
Right, because I got one credit. Now I got to ask a question right now. And this is it's going to take you a different way, and it might be some people might need to close their eyes and close their ears when they hear this. So, how many businesses can you have in America?
Unlimited.
No, you can't have unlimited businesses, man. How many businesses can you have in America?
Nobody put no cap on that. I ain't see no law over that.
No cap.
So you telling me a person can have many businesses as they want?
As long as they can keep affording the application fee and all the fees.
I got two businesses. Right now. We're getting ready to open up a third. I got credit cards for both businesses.
No, that's where I was coming from. You knew where I was going.
In the business name. In the business name. Okay. And when I open up the third business, I'm going to get credit cards in that business name.
Exactly.
Same credit card. Same exact credit cards, right?
Same exact ones. Okay. Amex and Chase.
And that's what I was leading them with right there. Mr. Don just told you, right? So the order of the matter is, once you fix up your credit one time, O'Neal, you remember the word that I was talking about the other day, which was called an attachment? You can attach that one credit to each one of these different businesses and get whatever that you want out of them, right? I got a loan right now out. I got 3 loans. I got 3 loans right now with one particular bank, right? And they're all with 3 different companies, but I'm going to that bank I'm going to that bank for them. right? So when you start to see these things, this thing becomes unlimited to what your capabilities being able to do, right? It helps you grow your company, but it all starts with your personal credit, and your personal credit is able for you to help you build your business. But when you build in your business, now you're able to build your business through business credit. But more of the story is that's how you're able to do it. But we're not building our business to look like we got business credit.
Right. So that's how you get the 300,000, 400,000 in lines of credit.
But once you get to 400,000 on a line of credit, if you got $400,000 on a line of credit, right? So hypothetically, say if you went to one bank and one bank gave you 150 to 200, right? So the purpose, let's make it easy. Let's say 200,000. One bank gave you 200,000. Did you know that you can go to two other banks and get the same 200,000?
Same thing.
But guess what that's for though, Emil? That's just for one business.
That's one business. You run the play with all 4, 5, 6, 7 businesses you got.
Now what you're doing is you're growing each one of the businesses. Because don't forget, now I told you I'm about to get warmed up. Now watch how we get warmed up, right? When you start to see these things, you'll understand that if you go to a place like Walmart, so shout out to Walmart, right? Walmart is one of the greatest business examples of a business that you can possibly see in America. Now, why is that? I thought, it's just my personal opinion, I thought that Walmart was one big corporation, which it is. The subsidiaries of Walmart are the stores in which you go to. Did you know that, O'Neal, the Walmart by your house is a different Walmart from the one that's by my house, right?
A different entity.
Man, they're a totally different company. They're just under the same umbrella. So what does that mean? These folks here, they're able to take each one of these different businesses and guess what you think? People say, well, Walmart got all the money. They don't borrow no money. Boy, is you crazy? Yeah. Everybody borrows money. The only person that don't borrow money are
the idiots.
The poor people. No, my bad. That means I did not say the poor people. Y'all gonna not.
Yeah, they got Apple borrow money, Tesla.
Everybody
Amazon.
Money. Here's the game. Now, here's the game. Watch this. Here's the game. I'm about to take you there now. The middle class or the poor people, you can use it how you would, whatever word you want to say. That's on you.
Middle class gone, man.
Right, yeah, right. So the poor people borrow money from the rich.
Yeah.
The rich borrows money from the poor.
Break that down.
I'm gonna say that again. When you're at the bottom, you can use the rich people you can use the wealthy people to get money. You can go ahead and get a loan from the wealthies. You can go ahead and get all of these things from the wealthy. And what you're able to do is to continue to grow your business by borrowing their money. Now, on their end, what they're doing, Don, I want you to come in. We're firing this thing up before we leave from here, right? We're going to fire this thing up, right? Hold on. Somebody crank that engine up. Crank it up one time. Crank it up one time, right? Let me see the fire emojis in the chat one time. We're about to get this thing split up right quick. Now, here it goes. Here it goes. The wealthy uses the poor, meaning that when you borrow the money, they're making their money off of the interest that you're borrowing off of. So if they're making their money off the interest that you're borrowing off of, listen to what I'm saying. The wealthy is making the money off of the poor. They're making the money off of the interest. You got to use their money so you can grow your business, and everybody is using each other. That's why they got a saying called the wealthier get wealthier as time goes on. The rich get richer, the wealthier get wealthier. Those are the things that I'm talking about under that constraint right there, right? So when you start to look at these things, that's why I have to go back into the bottom line and saying, hey, your bottom line is everything. So when you keep writing off everything in taxes, you keep lowering your bottom line. The lower that you lower your bottom line, the less the people let you borrow. The higher that you make your bottom line, the more they let you borrow. The more that you've been able to borrow, the more money that you got access to. The more money that you got access to, the more things that you can do with your money. But see, if you keep lowering your bottom line, lower and lower and lower and lower, now at this point in time, people are not going to let you borrow no money. Now you're not going to be able to grow. The whole point is I got to make the rich richer. How do I make the rich richer? I got to keep borrowing money so I can pay back the interest, but when I pay back the interest, I can borrow more money. That's why I'm able to keep my bottom line. The reason I want to keep my bottom line pertaining to the taxes is because of one thing: you don't pay taxes on borrowed money. You're not hearing me, ladies and gentlemen.
No taxes.
On borrowed money.
There it is.
You don't pay
There it
taxes
is.
on borrowed money. There is no taxes on borrowed money. So therefore, if I can borrow more money,
there it is. There it is. Did you see that thing out? What's the guy's name? Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and they were talking about how much
need some flavors in chat.
How much debt he was in. Okay, but you don't pay taxes on borrowed money. Take your assets and then get that borrowed money and then manipulate it. So what the bank does is the bank borrows our money so that they can make big money with that money and then pay us pennies on the dollar for the use of the money. Okay. So what we have to do is do the exact same thing. We want to borrow the bank's money and make a benefit off of that money, make your profits off that money, and then learn how to pay them pennies on the dollar for the use of that money. That increases your profits. Increase your profits through paying less money for the borrowed money. You want to get that skill, especially real estate investors, using the bank's money, because we only look at the cash flow. We look at the cash flow, but we don't look at what we're paying for the money to create the cash flow. So if you can get the cash flow and borrow the money for 75% less, now you're making even more money, because we're beginning to think like a bank.
Mr. Don, you preaching to choir, man. These folks in here. We ain't got no real estate investors in here. And man, we ain't got no real estate ain't no real estate investors watching this right now.
They're not understanding.
It's the real estate investors that I know right now. They'll go to the chat right now and they'll go put the fire emoji in the chat. If those are the only ones that I know, because I don't know if we got no real estate investors in here. Because the real estate investors that I know, they can go to the chat right there and put the fire emoji in the chat. That's the only real estate investors I know.
Hey, man, we should at least see 50 flames in the chat. That's all I know. What y'all talking about right now is a crazy situation, because we talk about it all the time. If you bank ready, you can get all the money you want. Flame said earlier, to get the money is a walk in the park. He says from here to the bathroom. That's how hard it is to get this money. But the most important is you got to set up everything properly in the beginning. Want to have a solid foundation.
Not just that.
A lot of foundations messed up, Don.
Can I say this?
Let's do
it. Here's because I learned about this over the last 2 years. I've been in business since 2006. Okay, I've been in business since 2006. You know when I learned about business credit and how to manipulate it?
The last
just
2 years.
A couple of years. Last 2 years on Clubhouse, and now we're on with different social media outlets. But I learned about how to get these cards. I learned that I can get a card for both businesses. I didn't know that. I can get the same card for the two businesses within 30 minutes. Okay, so not only that, but I got the points. So I said, listen, they're offering these points. Okay. I got double the points because I had double the businesses. Okay. I'm still using those points. Listen, what is a points millionaire? You know what a points millionaire is? What's a points millionaire? Somebody who's
got a lot of points.
Over 1 million points. I got over 1 million points. Okay. Got over 1 million points.
Luxury life with them points.
Listen, I'm telling you, when we fly, guess where we hang out? We don't hang out with everybody else. Where do we hang out? We go to the lounge.
Are we in the lounge, baby? We in that lounge,
the first time, listen, baby. When the first time I took my wife to the lounge, you know what she said? Yeah, we ain't going back. We ain't going back.
At the lounge, free food, Wi-Fi, clean bathrooms, drinks.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're not with the regular folk, man. We trying to be the 1%ers, man.
Hey, listen.
Yes.
And you can even, you got some of them, you can take a shower in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Listen. You know what else I learned? With American Express, once you get one card, there are no more hard pulls. I signed up for everything that they've got. All right. I signed up for everything that they've got. All right. All these cards within like 30 minutes. Okay. Because there was only one hard pull. I got double the cards for all the businesses in about 30 minutes.
Come on, man.
Okay.
That's just
because I learned it.
And taking action.
I learned it off of Clubhouse because I didn't know before. So here's somebody who didn't know. It's not that I'm smart. It's not that I'm smarter than the average bear. I did not know. And then when I heard it, I said, well, let me try it. Doggone if it didn't work. Oh, and another thing, when you talk about this before we go, talk about this. When they ask you how much your business makes, tell them how much you project your business to make when you're applying for these cards. That's what they're asking for. What is your projected income, your personal business and your personal income and your business income? What do you project it to make? Because they're not going to give you money if you tell them, well, this month I made $5,000. How much are you projected to make? That's what you put in to the application. Am I lying?
Nah, you ain't lying. Stated income. You're on mute, Flynn. But Don, I got a quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
Once you got this information about the business credit, how did it change your business and your lifestyle after that? Business and your life.
Listen, number one, I can get all the business credit I want, and it doesn't do anything to my credit score. I can load it up, baby. I can take it to the hilt, and it doesn't. I take American Express Platinum, okay, Gold. All right, I could take it to the hilt on all of the cards, and it doesn't do anything to my personal score. I learned that. And it's true. It's true. And I get all the points. I run my business on these cards. I run everything on the cards. And so we take our money and we pay back the cards. So American Express and Chase pay me to use their cards.
I love it. You got any final words for us, Don?
Listen, man, listen, get this information and use it, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know more about what I do, just go to ice10k.com and contact me, and I'll be glad to share it with you. But I want to tell you this. I did not know. I don't know what I didn't know. But when I found out, my whole lifestyle changed. Lifestyle change. Go to my Instagram, because last year we went to Dubai on points. Flew business class. In business class, I get to sleep to Dubai in a bed. My meals were served to me on demand on a tablecloth with actual silverware and glasses. Okay, this is how you could. This is, and all this was on points. And then when I got into Doha, one of the most fabulous airports in the world, with a long layover, I got to sleep in their lounge. Okay, because and then have to sit up in a chair all night. So this is what I'm talking about. That's how my life has changed because of business credit.
I love it.
Blaine, what's up?
Man,
you had something to say earlier, man. What you got?
Nah, man. I don't understand how people just not getting it at this point. Is at this point, I just don't think that a person want to get it. Because we laid out all the tools for them. This has definitely been a masterclass, to say the least. This was definitely a paid master class because literally you could take this same information, you can upload it, and you could put a price tag on it, and people will purchase this, and people will use it, and people will go to the next level with this information. And for you guys to create a platform for it where you guys are delivering it, and just my associated with you guys, I love dealing with, especially with you and Don. Man, and shout out to Byron, especially heart emoji goes out to his family too. But just learning about how this whole system works. Knowing that, hey, but I never want people to lose thought of this part of the process, right? And this is the part of the process I don't want you to forget, is that you're going to have to pay back this money, that's for sure. So everything that we're using this money for is we're using the money to make us more money. So I don't want you to lose focus on that. Using the money to help you make you more money. Now, the benefits of it are those rewards. Because I'm sitting over here now and I'm like, I got these damn envelopes, because there's a flip side of this credit too. The flip side is where I have to pay this stuff back, right? But I'm comfortable with paying it back. When I was telling somebody before about how the one thing that actually happened was I was using my Amex card, right? And short story, Mr. Don, I got denied, right? I got denied using my Amex card, right? This is a part of the story that people don't hear about, right? And I'm gonna tell you, right? You said, well, Flame, how can you be America's #1 credit educator in the country and get denied, right? They have a thing called unusual spend pattern, right? And I did that, right? And so what Amex did was they said the words to me. It was like, I think it was like 30-some thousand at the time, 20-some thousand, 30-some thousand. I forgot what it was. And they said that we need this payment in full, like now, right? They said, oh, we understand it is. Just once you make the payment in full, then you can go ahead and go, right? And so I said to myself, I was like, I am so glad to be in a position to where a person can fork over $30-some thousand at the drop of a dime, right? And that's the way where they free my account up at that point, because I had to pay them to unfree it. But the more of the story is that you don't ever want to get caught. You want to make sure that when you got money set away for those things, and that your money is always making money. So if you got those two rules, number one, you got to know how much the money costs you, and number two, always use somebody else's money to make more money for yourself. And with that being said, go, you guys, I'm at meetflame.com. You can catch me at meetflame.com, or definitely attach yourself to any of my social media networks. I'm big on Facebook. That's where you can find me, Facebook, Instagram, or something like that. And other than that, man, I just appreciate the opportunity, appreciate being in here. But that's exactly, and I put my book info in the thing too. So at meetflame.com, I actually have this book, right? So I got both of the books. This is the personal credit book for you guys if you want to get your credit journey started. And this is the business credit book, right? This is the business credit book. So these books are available on Amazon, or you can go to meetflame.com. Again, that is meetflame.com. Again, that is meetflame.com. I'll put it back in the chat. If somebody could add that in the chat for me. Can I get two people that's in here that's watching it to write the words meetflame.com? Can you do me that favor? I just need two people to do it. I need two. If I get two people to do it, I'll be appreciative. With that being said, make sure that you grab the book, The School of Credit, 8 Levels of a Business Credit System.
Man, appreciate you, Flame, man. Make sure y'all check out Flame, check out Dom, follow them on Instagram, social media. People giving y'all information, they give y'all a game. Just all you gotta do is show them some love, man. It's free. We have free things, man. Show them some love, man. It was a great, phenomenal show. Make sure you tune in to everything that they got coming up. Make sure you tune in to our stuff. So we got shows every Tuesday, every Thursday, 6:30 a.m. Central. I'm trying to give y'all a lot of game, man. Change our life, change our financial situation. But make sure y'all watch the other video that we did Tuesday. Watch the one Tuesday. Watch this one again today. You can use this information to change your situation. So another thing, make sure you join our memberships. It's next to the subscribe button. Subscribe first and then join the memberships. With that, you get discounts on events that we have. I got an event coming up. You get discounts on merch. Also, you get exclusive content. With the memberships, you got 3 different levels. You got Trailblazer, Legacy, and Visionary. Whichever one makes sense for you and your situation, hit that button and join us. With that being said, man, we out of here, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the content. Make sure y'all go rewatch it. A lot of value there. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
What's up, y'all? So most people struggle with sales. A lot of us in real estate, and we struggle with our sales. We struggle with follow-up. We struggle with leads. And we just basically missing out on deals. For me, I just got on Taskify CRM. They send messages out for you, And look, a lot of us have work. When you get off of work, you have hot leads ready for you. Make sure you check out Taskify CRM. I'm telling you, it automatically replies for you. And look, it sends you multiple messages. Like we talking about drip campaigns, so you're not missing up on the lead follow-up. So make sure you check out Taskify CRM. Use coupon code No Stingy Energy to get 10% off. I'm about to show y'all inside my CRM so I can see how it really works. Make sure y'all check it out. Peace.